Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. It's your boy Ryan, the professional here. Oh boy, I'm here with a treat. I'm live with a very special guest. I want to shout you guys out for making this possible. The one and only Randall Thor.
What's going on, Ryan? Thanks for having me on. Appreciate the invite. So what are we going to be talking tonight, man? What are we talking about?
Well, I guess I'll start with the PUBG debacle. How you liking the game?
You know, I didn't play it on PC. Like my brand new PC, which is coming in a couple days, which I'm excited to get. But I didn't play this game on PC, and I didn't understand why people like this so much.
Okay.
And when I finally was able to play it on Xbox, despite the terrible frame rate and the pop-in and the laggy controls and all that stuff, like we were having so much fun playing it. Like I don't know what else to say other than like I was having a lot of fun with the multiplayer game like I haven't in a long time.
Okay. So you didn't play it on PC. So as far as you're not playing on PC, is it actually like, are you actually getting a performance that's okay? Like, is it playable for the most part?
I mean, it's playable. I wouldn't say it's like acceptable. I mean, here's the thing. It's in game preview, right?
Yeah.
The game's going to change. It's going to get better. If you're one of those people that is like, I need rock solid performance, well, then I would wait until it's out of game preview, or at least at a patch in game preview where it's good. But I don't think I've had an issue where I directly died because of the frame rate. It's just jarring to see, when you load into the lobby and the frame rate tanks, or when you jump out of the plane and the frame rate tanks. It's just like,
it dropped.
Look at it. Yeah, it's like, I'm on the X, and it's like, man. And just the other day, they were talking about 60 frames, the player unknown. And it's like, he must not have known or played this version of the game, because I don't know how they could get it to 60 frames. But I think it's playable. Maybe I have friends who have put $400 into the PC version that are playing with us, and they're killing it, but they don't like the Xbox version. They're very much like, man, like this is like, it's going from heaven to going to hell, basically.
No, wow. Yeah, I'm not expecting any updates, man. I'm not expecting anything to be fixed. I really am not. This game is heavy on the CPU, man. It's heavy.
I don't know why they decided for native 4K though. Like, this game doesn't need it. Like, they should have dropped the resolution enough to at least give a locked frame rate. Like, I wouldn't care if this game was
40p, 1080p. I mean, either one would have been fine. Like, nobody really would have complained. It's a game. That's a game that really needs 60. You need 60, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but I mean, 60 is kind of hard to get by on these consoles. Maybe next gen, PS5, Xbox, whatever.
Right.
Maybe 60 frames will be more commonplace, but I don't know, man. These consoles are held back by their CPUs, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was about to. Yeah, speaking of that, I know you. Are you actually liking the One X? Like, very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. Like, it's. All I really wanted was just a better version of the Xbox, which is what I got. I mean, it's worth the money to me, because I am a person who plays everything on Xbox. Would I recommend to somebody who's a PlayStation gamer as the Pro? No, probably not.
No.
But for an Xbox gamer, one who identifies as an Xbox gamer, one who plays everything there, I think it's worth the investment over the S. I think it's a way better machine than the S. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think it's technically I spent 150 because I did that GameStop hack earlier in the year, so I only spent actually $150. But I was planning on getting it regardless of that, so it's worth it to me.
Well, me personally, I say this all the time. Like, I've been throwing this question around with different guests. Would you be happy if they actually waited, like with this console, like, instead of them dropping the console now, they waited to 9th gen and they waited for a Ryzen CPU? Would you be interested?
I would have been fine. I would have been fine. I mean, I wasn't. I was fine with the Xbox One S, to be honest with you. Like, I never was the one to like complain that it was in lower resolution than the PlayStation. I just like playing games. You know what I mean? Like Wolfenstein 2, for example. I played it on the S because I couldn't wait for the X. Like, I have to play Wolfenstein. I love Wolfenstein. Couldn't wait. And I really enjoyed it despite the frame rate issues it can have, and despite the resolution. In fact, it's probably going to be my game of the year. And I get comments like, how can you enjoy that game in 892p?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's a great game. Like, it's a great game in 720p. It's a great game in 4K. It's like, it's just a great game regardless. So would I have I don't know here. I mean, because who knows when next gen starts? I mean, who knows when Sony's going to do it?
Most likely 2020.
2020. So you figure Xbox is going to come out with the system in 2021 or 2020. I guess they wanted to fill that time. Both Sony and Microsoft obviously came to the same conclusion that they needed a mid-gen refresh, right?
Yeah.
So I'm happy with it, but yeah, we probably need a little bit more powerful CPU to kind of. And the one thing I don't like about the X, I will say this, which is kind of my issue with the whole mid-gen refresh from the start, is like none of these games are exclusive to the consoles.
That's
like
true.
There is no exclusive X game. There is no exclusive Pro game. Yeah. So that kind of limits people wanting to pick it up. Like you switch gens, you'll go from PS3 to PS4 for all the new games you can only play on PlayStation 4 or 360 to Xbox One. So it's kind of like I'm really kind of hoping next gen comes sooner. Yeah. And then we get those newer like built for that gen type games, Like can you imagine like Last of Us 2 if it was only a PS5 game or something like that, or if like Halo 6 was only an Xbox 2 game, like how much better it could look and run and perform on that hardware.
That's true. Cool. They would have they wouldn't have anything locking them down to, that is true. That is very true. I'm thinking though, like, especially for this console, really we shouldn't be, we really should have more than what we just got right now. Like it's been a whole year, pretty much, whole year of hype, and yet we still didn't have a console seller with it day one. I don't understand that. You would think they would pull a Zelda, you know what I'm saying, and come out with Halo, Gears, and something else for day one for the X to sell it, but they didn't really do that. I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it could have been, supposed to be Crackdown and Scalebound, maybe.
Yeah, I don't see that being. I don't really see that being heavy hitters for Xbox.
No, but I mean, you could see where it was supposed to be positioned. Like, I seriously doubt they were going into it and being like, by the way, guys, our big game is going to be Super Lucky's Tale. That's our launch game for the X. I'm sure they were like, it'll be Crackdown and Scalebound. Because then, okay, Super Lucky's Tales, could slide it on the radar. It's for a game for a different type of gamer, right? Mm-hmm. But, like, since those other games got delayed, it was like, it really puts a focus. Well, one got canceled, but it really puts a focus on the anemic year, basically. I mean, this year was, what are you going to say? It was terrible, for exclusive wise. Well, at least console exclusives, because I know everything's on PC for Xbox. But bright side is, I don't think it can get worse than this. So, yeah, the sky's the limit, I guess.
Yeah. Do you think, like, I know you're big on Xbox, so you like, you're big on Halo and Gears. I was big on Gears, when it first came out and whatnot. But if there's anything new that you would be like legit, that you would legit want for the X, right, for competition purposes, what exactly would that be?
The one thing I've been asking for, and the one thing I've had conversations with people at Xbox about, is more exclusive games. Like that. I think Xbox has everything to. Competing.
They got the tools.
Well, it's like they have the online service. They have the console. They have like even the digital services, Xbox Game Pass, digital refunds, digital gifting. Like it's all there. Like the package is complete. It's missing, of course, the main ingredient, which is newer IPs, stuff like that to kind of to make it more appealing to people who aren't Xbox gamers. Because of course, Halo, Gears, Forza appeals to a very specific type of gamer. And those franchises have been around forever. So if you're not into Halo, by now, you're never going to be into Halo. However, for example, you have Playground Games. They're making that new open world AAA RPG with their second studio. Maybe Microsoft should spend the money and buy that game or publish that game. That would be an interesting experience that you could only get on Xbox, that you could market and hype up and be like, listen, here's an RPG game only on Xbox, come, here's the reason to buy this system. So I've had this conversation with people at Xbox, but I think the only thing you're really missing is games, essentially. You know, let's see. I mean, I know Phil said he wants to buy new studios. He wants to build new IP and invest in that stuff. Time. Yeah, I mean, he says it quite a bit. The difference between then and now is his boss is Satya Nadella, the CEO, whereas before his boss was a guy who hated Xbox. So there's a little bit of difference there, but I think you will see the fruits of it in 2 to 3 years. I'm just not sure if the fruits of that will be what people want to see. You know what I mean? Because I think Xbox is going in a different direction than PlayStation. PlayStation is very much we love single player. Yeah, we love single player. We do single player well. We do Last of Us. We'll do Horizon Zero Dawn 2. We'll do all these single player focused games, and it works for PlayStation because they let all the third parties build out the big multiplayer experiences and games as a service. Whereas Xbox, they don't have that type of stuff. I mean, Halo, even though it's a single player, Halo is very core multiplayer, just like Gears is, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's like, do they have the people there to make the strong single player stuff that people want? I'm not sure. So I think the games you're going to get from Microsoft in a couple years are maybe not exactly what people want, but they're going to be exclusive and maybe a reason to get the system down the road. But that's not right now, you know?
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Like it's like legit, you're pretty much saying what I'm saying. Like a lot of people just they don't like when I bring up the whole software issue with the Xbox. Like I give props to the hardware, especially the GPU and the One X, but it's very limited on that CPU. That CPU gives the performance like very strong. I would say that, you know, they really do need first party. Like that should have been already established. You know, we shouldn't have more than just Halo, Gears, and Forza. You know, Alan Wake 3 should already be out. Quantum Break 2 should be out at this point. Sunset Overdrive 2 should be out at this point. You know what I'm saying? Fable should still exist.
Yep, I agree. I 100% agree. I mean, obviously, we don't know Microsoft's internal financial report for the Xbox division and what they're working with, but I thought it was a mistake to shut down Lionhead, cancel Fable, such a big franchise. Mm-hmm. I mean, Scalebound thing, you hear rumors about what really happened. Who really knows about the truth behind that? But yeah, they need like a shot in the arm. They need new blood.
That is true.
You know, and even if they took one of those games, and I kind of argued this earlier, because I saw Nintendo go back to the well with Bayonetta 3, and clearly they couldn't have made really that much money on Bayonetta 2. So the only reason they're doing Bayonetta 3 is for the fan base, for the fans, for the excitement it'll build around the platform. And then I see PlayStation do Knack 2, right?
Yep.
A game that shouldn't really exist, and it's criminal that there's a Knack 2 in this world and not a Sunset Overdrive 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I look at it, it's like, okay, Xbox is kind of only interested in maybe funding games that they think are a sure bet, or you know what I mean? Like we're going to make some sort of return on this. Whereas like they should have funded Rise 2 or a Sunset Overdrive 2 or a new Quantum Break or a new Alan Wake, even if they were going to take a loss, just for the goodwill it would garner among Xbox fans, you know, and people like that. Because then you could say, all right, Microsoft, they're doing it. They understand. Even if it would have, Sunset Overdrive 2 wouldn't have sold millions upon millions and lost money, the goodwill would have been worth it, in my opinion. But who knows? I mean, they have data at Microsoft that probably says something completely different.
They had an opportunity to pretty much repeat the launch, like in terms of games from this gen. They had to repeat to bring those games back. Like they could have brought back, you know, Dead Rising if they could strike a deal, get that back. They could definitely have brought back Quantum Break, and they could have brought the what's that other game? Sunset Overdrive for the One X. That would have been a nice little lineup just to get the system out there, get his feet. You know what I'm saying? To help it land on his feet softer. But nah, they just said, okay, here's Rise of the Tomb Raider, a game from 3 years ago. It runs at 4K, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's not enough.
Yeah, I think they were kind of banking on the fact, like I said, Crackdown was going to be there and maybe scale back. Because, like, and Albert Pinello said that this system was like, you know, they basically started thinking about it in 2013 or 2012. You know, that stuff has a long lead-in time, so it was like they target 2017, and then it's just all the games they were planning on having it to showcase the system just fell to the wayside. They either got delayed or got canceled. I mean, you could argue poor planning on that, but maybe not necessarily poor planning on the console, because I think the console is really good. Just maybe the software side, where who's managing the software and picking the deals and things like that didn't come through.
Yep, that is true. Now you already know pretty much when you have your exclusive, your first party, it's always your main thing that separates you from the pack. I think we all agree. Aside from power, first party really separates you from what you're basically competing with. So, you can't rely on third-party games 24/7. Basically, first-party games is your face. It's your identity. When you have Sony dropping a ridiculous amount of games, I mean, and people still believe they're going to go bankrupt, like these dudes say they're going to bankrupt.
No, they're not. They just are. When I hear that, I think people are just jealous. It's like, here's Sony, and they're dropping all this stuff that people want. And it's like Microsoft is just, Microsoft as a company is like a gigantic company, but they just don't understand, They don't get it. Like if Sony was going broke, they wouldn't have the money to fund any of their games, and then they definitely wouldn't have money to give to Activision or Take-Two for, marketing rights for Destiny 2 or Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, I've heard some figures thrown around for how much it costs to get the marketing rights for Red Dead 2. It's basically the cost of a game to get the marketing rights for that.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, if Sony was going broke, how are they getting this money? So I think that's just kind of pure jealousy.
Yeah, that is true. I don't understand. Like, Nintendo just started, and you notice they had none but heavy hitters on the console pretty much this first year. It's crazy. With crazy announcements like Bayonetta 3 and Bayonetta 2 coming to the Switch. I mean, that's really big. So would you be interested in the Switch?
Yeah, I'm getting one next year.
You know, next year?
Yeah, I'm gonna get one next year. Mario Odyssey looks really good.
Yeah.
I am interested in Metroid Prime 4. I love Metroid. Bayonetta, of course. Zelda does nothing for me, though. That's the thing. I always tell people this, and they get like, what? But like, the only Zeldas I played is Zelda 1 and Wind Waker.
Okay.
So like, I don't have that love for the franchise other people do. So when I see people play or gameplay trailers for Breath of the Wild, my eyes kind of glaze over because it just doesn't interest me. It's the same thing I have like right now with like Horizon Zero Dawn, Assassin's Creed Origins, and Shadow of War. Like, I'm just in this mood where like I don't want to play an open world game.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just
about Pokemon coming to the Switch.
I don't care about Pokemon.
You don't care about Pokemon? Oh.
No, I mean, I have a couple friends who are big into that, but I don't care about Well, it's funny. My one buddy who has 6,000 hours into Destiny 1.
Oh,
right?
God.
He hated Destiny 2 so much. He actually is playing Pokemon Go on the phone. Like, that's all he plays now is this Pokemon Go.
Oh, wow.
Like, he went from Destiny 1, 6,000 hours in a year, or, well, not a year, but like 3 years. And now all he plays is Pokemon Go.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. I can't play Pokemon Go, man. I can't do that, but
no, either can I. I tried. I don't. Nintendo. I took the L on it, man. I didn't think it would do well. I didn't think the Switch would do well.
Right.
I thought it would do Wii U numbers, but they were smart. They have this system that is a handheld, but also a console if you want it to be. Mm-hmm. And they launched with Zelda. They launched with like They launched with all these games, and the thing is, it's like it's not competing directly with Xbox or PlayStation. Like, Xbox and PlayStation, they compete directly, right?
Yeah.
But like Nintendo, the Switch seems like a companion console. I don't know if that's. I know some people say that's like a derogatory term for a console, but it's smart because people don't view it as like, oh, I can only get a PlayStation or a Switch. It's like, oh, I'll get a PlayStation and a Switch, or oh, I'll get an Xbox and a Switch, or I'll get a PC and a Switch. It didn't like kind of lock itself out of its market, because with Xbox and PlayStation, 90% of the library is crossover, right?
Yeah.
So you could have somebody on PlayStation who's like, I have no need for an Xbox. What's the point? Or someone on Xbox who's like, I have everything here. I don't need a PlayStation. Whereas like all those other games on Nintendo, you know, it's like that companion system. So I think Nintendo was smart to do that, and obviously they're reaping the benefits of having to do it. You know, 10 million in 9 months is
it's ridiculous.
Pretty amazing.
That is really ridiculous. So since we you know, we're here, we got the you know, games that we pretty much know are gonna happen now, you know, especially after PSX. What do you think is gonna come out for Xbox then? What do you think they are working on? I know
For
Rise
next year,
should be a thing, but we haven't gotten any confirmation on that.
Rise ain't happening ever. Rise 2 never happening.
You don't think so?
No, it's never gonna happen. Never. Like I'm 99% sure that like that game will never happen.
Yeah.
So there's a better chance for Sunset Overdrive 2 happening. I'll just say that. But like I mean obviously you can't say 100%, but from what I've heard,
yeah, they really want to make it, but if Sony published it, you know what I'm saying, it's no longer going to be an Xbox thing, it's going to be on both.
Right.
If not,
well, I was more talking about Rise, but from what I heard, like Crytek and Microsoft, they're not friends anymore.
Nah, that's crazy.
Rise 2 will never happen. Sunset Overdrive 2 maybe, but I doubt it. So this year lineup for Xbox is going to be Sea of Thieves March 20th. Xbox is very, very, very high on this game.
Mm-hmm.
They think it'll do extremely well. What else we got? State of Decay 2, Crackdown 3, and then
Sea of Thieves, right?
Well, yeah, Sea of Thieves. That's March 20th. I would assume a Forza Horizon 4 to come out this year. And after that, I'm not really sure because Microsoft is not open like PlayStation is with their roadmap. You know, like Halo 6 could be this year, but I don't think it is. But yeah, I don't know. Ori and the Will of the Wisp is 2019. Is
that even an indie game or is it legit a AAA game? I'm confused by that one.
Ori, I mean,
is it like an indie that just got a lot of like support, kind of like Minecraft?
I mean, I guess you could classify it as an indie. I mean, the first game is a masterpiece in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's published by Microsoft. It's funded by Microsoft. Microsoft, I mean, put money into it. I wouldn't necessarily classify it as an indie game like I don't know, like Night in the Woods just came out on Xbox or Soma, like a game that's self-published with no help from Sony or Nintendo or Microsoft. Like, so it has that money,
right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be this E3. Microsoft's got to show what they have coming up because Sea of Thieves will be out, so you can't show that anymore, right? Thank God, because I'm getting sick of seeing about Sea of Thieves. State of Decay. Well, they said all three of these games would be out before E3. I don't believe it. I still don't believe it.
It's too much.
I think one of them is. I think one of them's coming out in the fall. Like honestly, I think Crackdown 3 is coming out in the fall. I think that was a full year delay.
Yeah. I agree.
So they're gonna have to show. They're gonna have to show their roadmap. You know, they're gonna have to show games for 2018 because nobody knows. I mean, but I don't know, man. Like this is kind of this is Microsoft's problem. They kind of forced themselves into this position, man. You know, they showed off Sea of Thieves probably too early. They showed off Crackdown way too early.
Yeah.
Then there was a point where they weren't investing into first party very much. The budget the leash was tightened, and this is what you get.
Yeah, that is true. I think if they would have waited and just like instead of showing off Crackdown 3 to begin with, like they did in the past, if they would have waited to like now, especially with the 1X, announced, I think a lot of people probably would have reacted a little better because let's be real here, we didn't really have none to go on, but man, it doesn't even look the same anymore. It's shell shaded and just I don't know. I'm not really sold on Crackdown. Are you sold on it? I'm not sold on it.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of the franchise. I'm gonna play it day one. I'm really interested in seeing the multiplayer. They've hyped that up so much with the cloud-based destruction, and we have seen nothing of it. Man, it may be another thing of like hyping it up to the moon and not paying off on it. Maybe the delays for the better. Maybe they go back and they update the visuals a little bit. But yeah, I've never really been a fan of the whole cel-shaded look.
Yeah.
Like I don't really care how like Borderlands looks. I don't think cell shaded looks good. But I really hope that they deliver on that cloud destruction, because that's what they've hung their hat on with this game.
Yeah.
That's why they delayed it. They delayed it because it was only going to be single player at launch. It was going to be single player and co-op on November 7th. Multiplayer was going to come out in 2018. And they decided that that wasn't good. They saw the reaction to some of the Agents of Mayhem reviews where it got trashed for not having multiplayer. And they did some internal testing, internal talks, and decided to move the game so they can launch it as a single package.
Okay. So do you believe in their model, like games as a service? You think that should be the way they're going with games as a service, as opposed to just focusing more on games and bringing those to the consumer?
Yeah, I think they're fans of that type of game. I think what they see is they see something like Minecraft. They want that.
So they want that for every game.
They want that game where it's one game, but it brings in revenue daily. Yeah. Right? They see Rainbow Six Siege. They see Grand Theft Auto Online. You know, Sony sees these things too.
Yeah.
But Microsoft sees that and they're like, we need to get a chunk of that. Like Halo 6, Gear. I mean, all these, like Halo 5, Gears 4, they all have the microtransactions and the loot boxes. I mean, Microsoft is there firmly in that loot box microtransaction arena already. So, and I think part of it is they saw the sales for Sunset Overdrive 2 and Rise and all these games, and nobody bought it originally, so why would you make a sequel for them, right?
That's true. That's true. Oh, man. Net neutrality, man. Net neutrality. You think we lost it?
I think it's lost.
Think it's lost? Think it's getting appealed tomorrow, right? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's going to be an interesting day on Twitter. Net neutrality, NPDs. Yeah. Microsoft announcing PUBG probably sold 1 million units.
Yeah. Now, like when it comes to good and bad news, NPD, it's really neutral. It doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? It really doesn't matter, especially this month. But really, what really matters and we really need positive news on is net neutrality. We need to come out on top of this, because if not, it's really going to change the way, you know, we game as, you know, going forward. It's going to help. It's really going to change it. And if you think about it, you know, if Microsoft and Sony would have went with DRM, like, you know, as their main focus for these consoles at the start of this gen, oh boy, we'd be even worse in worse shape than what we are now.
I hope I'm wrong, but I just have this feeling that, you know, it's lost.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a sad day. Like the thing is, like, these companies, like, they didn't even say why we should want it. It was just
really didn't,
you know. And I know Microsoft is planning. I think they're planning for the eventuality that it does get overturned, because they're laying their own cables, you know, like fiber and stuff. So yeah, I wonder how these big corporations are gonna fight it. I know Netflix, they already cut deals with the big providers, so their stuff won't get slowed down. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a case of, you know, well, I mean, you know why this happened. I mean, so-and-so got voted into office. Which
is one of the biggest mistakes in history. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't like talking politics, but I mean, that's essentially where we are. I mean, so
yep.
People say their vote don't matter. Well, it kind of does, you know?
Yep. It kills me when they blame other stuff, when it's like you could have changed it by simply voting or it could have helped change, but it's crazy. It really is crazy. This is sad, man. It's sad. I never thought I would have this conversation ever. You know what I'm saying? You would think a lot of gamers would be talking about this. Now, don't get me wrong. Only a few here on YouTube have brought this up. Not a lot. And it's crazy. People are still playing this fanboy war, trying to pick a winner. It's like, listen, there's no war. It's already over. This whole war is over with. Even if the X was doing good at the start, it's not changing a thing. Can't change a thing at this point. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, people, I don't know what it is. Like, there's really no war, period. It's just something, you know, like just kind of invented by, you know, fans. Like, and certain people use it as like a driver for views on YouTube.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
they try to keep it alive.
Amazing news fans been waiting for.
Yeah. But net neutrality is a real issue.
Yeah.
And I mean, people have fought this for a while. They've tried to get rid of it times before, and everybody mobilizes and it gets shut down. But now it's just like people mobilize this time, but I think people just get sick of always having to try to mobilize to stop something,
Yeah.
Now they have all the places in check or whatever, people there, and I think we're gonna get bad news tomorrow, and people are gonna bitch, but I don't think we'll see any changes radically right away.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Because I don't think those companies are that dumb to like immediately change stuff. But 5 years from now, yeah, there'll be changes. You'll be like, oh, you wanna have instant access to Xbox Live or PlayStation? $20 a month.
20 extra bucks.
Yeah. That'll happen. It won't happen right away.
No, they're going to transition to it. They're going to get their service right to basically sell it to you, kind of like how these publishers are selling you crates in games. We got to pay just an additional monthly bill on this, basically monthly. So they're going to do this to you. It's going to suck, though. It really is going to suck. I don't understand how. Oh man, I don't even understand how we even got here, though. I just don't understand it. Like, this is something that we all should have been like just jumping on. So a lot of people should have stopped what they were doing. It's like, okay, this is something we need to get our opinion out on. Like, it needs to stop.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at it, like the other person got elected, then that person would have nominated somebody else for the FCC, and it wouldn't have happened. So I mean, it literally is person A got elected, nominated this person, and now it's done because the guy who runs the FCC is a Verizon lawyer. He used to be a Verizon lawyer. I mean, he's on the side of corporations.
Yep.
It's about as plain as day as it can get with that. It sucks, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're both wrong. Maybe tomorrow, good news, they change their minds.
I hope so. I really do hope so. I got my fingers crossed for tomorrow. I really do. Like, it's really tough.
I mean, I was yesterday with the Georgia election. I was like, oh, please, hopefully people make the right choice. And they did. So hopefully tomorrow the right thing happens too.
Yeah, hopefully, man. This is sad. It's sad, man. Since tomorrow's also MPD, so who you think got it?
PlayStation.
No hope?
Yeah.
No for Xbox or Switch?
No. I mean, I originally predicted the Switch just because I think I was kind of blinded by the fact that it was selling so well. Yeah. And I was like, Mario come out. It's going to be the most wanted item. And of course, this is before, like, I did this in October before Sony and Xbox announced when their price drops would happen. And I think what eventually kind of hurt Microsoft was they let Sony drop it to $199 on the 17th.
That's true.
And then they didn't do anything until the 23rd.
Yep.
I think that gap there is probably from the early reports, from the person that got the report from MPD, it was like 1.5 million for PlayStation, 1.4 million for Xbox. I mean, 100,000, and you let Sony have 9 days with 199 and Xbox had 3. It's like, man, Microsoft, maybe you should have matched that. Maybe you should have dropped it to 189 on the day PlayStation did.
That would have made more sense to drop in there. I don't know. They just it's like it seems like they're on point at times, but then soon as like the competition like shows that they're really one on point, you clearly see through the gaps. You know what I'm saying? You see the struggle and what they're doing. Each decision they just like they have to either compromise or they have to fall back on something. Each decision. So I'm not sure what exactly are they trying to do with Microsoft here. I really don't. I understand that at this point. It feels like they really want the best at times, but in others, it feels like they don't. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel like they want anything. It's like, okay, let's just sell this to get our name out there. Let's get us some positive light, and then, okay, we're good. But nah, we're not getting that.
Part of me thinks like all this stuff was already predetermined, and they already had the 23rd set, and like they were just kind of stuck, and they couldn't really do anything. And PlayStation just kind of got the jump on them. But it's going to be interesting to see, like, who is number 1 and who is number 2 and number 3. And I was having a conversation tonight about that, and the person I was having this conversation with was like, maybe Microsoft just doesn't care if they win.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I mean, Microsoft doesn't give numbers anymore, and they haven't for years. Maybe they're just happy making money. Maybe they're just happy getting what they get, having the users they have, making and being profitable, and they don't care about being number one. It's possible. I don't know though, but
okay.
Because you think about it, there's silence about everything leads people to think that they're doing bad, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Sony announces 70 million consoles sold, 600 million games, PSVR 2 million. Nintendo announces 10 million 9 months.
Yep.
Everybody's like, Sony's doing great, and Nintendo's doing great, right? That's the common theme. Microsoft stays quiet. They don't say anything about sales.
Like, yeah, we're here.
Yeah. So the common thing is like you see two products announced saying how good they're doing, right? And then everybody on Twitter and social media saying those are doing really well. And then you have the other one, the third one, not saying a peep. So everybody's like, well, you only would be silent if you weren't happy with what you have.
Yep.
So people are like, well, that must mean they're not doing very well. And that kind of compounds. You have people, talking about it on podcasts and Twitter. And who knows what the truth is? The only people that know is Microsoft. And they're not sharing that information. So it's tough to tell. I think they're doing okay.
How many do you think they sold?
I mean, I had heard initial rumblings that the X sold the first 24 hours was better than the Pro did the entire month or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, that was true. Not on overall, in
I don't know. I think they lost. I'm pretty sure they lost though.
That they're at least 35, 37.
Oh, for total sales?
Yeah, total sales.
Yeah. I think they're at 35 or 34. And because PlayStation's at 70, PlayStation's have sold them 2-1 the entire gen. That would give you about 35 million. I'm going to say 34 just from the fact that I think PlayStation's kind of increased their lead a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think it's around 34, 35, somewhere in there. Because I see people all the time, people ranging to 26 million to 40 million, and I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know about that. I think it's about 35-ish.
Yeah.
Which Nintendo will pass them in a couple of years if that sales trajectory keeps up.
Yeah, and they can actually increase the reduction the way they're saying, because next year they're saying they're going to increase it to 20 million out there, and then next at that'd be over 30. So yeah, they can definitely do it if they can keep up with the demand. Obviously, sure.
Well, that's assuming more 20 million people want to buy it next year. Which I mean, who knows? I mean, it is $300.
Yeah. They can do a lot, so they got a nice selling point for the Switch. It's one thing they got right. I remember it got slammed though by a lot of people. Me personally, I was just like, that's not half bad. I want to see it, more in action. Obviously, see how they do it. But I didn't think it was a bad, reveal when they did that video. I thought it was different, definitely different. But I was like, nah, it's not a fail. It's just different. We got to see it in action, see what we got, and cool to see. You don't really need pretty graphics to really be a competitor in the gaming industry. You just need to have the joy of play. So
look at PUBG and Minecraft, right? Yeah. Minecraft doesn't look very well, but it's the biggest game out there, and PUBG has clearly evidenced by how it looks on the Xbox. It looks like it's already at past 500,000 sold in a day on Xbox. So, people. I mean, it's that game that kind of came out of nowhere. I
don't see the fuss about it, but yeah, it's one of those games.
Dude, I didn't see the fuss about it either. And then I played it, and I at least understand the fuss.
Right.
I mean, PlayStation's going to get it. Trust me. Unless Microsoft buys them, which they've tried to, but then again, so is everybody else. PlayStation will have a version next year that's final. You can almost argue that Xbox users are fixing the game for PlayStation.
Beta testers?
Yeah. So sometime next year, Bluehole will say, hey, we're coming to PlayStation, and it'll launch, whatever, and it'll just be because PlayStation doesn't have game preview, so it'll come out, then it'll be whatever, but it'll be whether it's a year or 8 months later, who knows how long it'll be an Xbox game preview. So
no, okay. What's your thoughts on PSX?
it was a waste of time.
Yeah, to me personally, it was just one of those things they didn't really need to do. But I will say this though, I don't know if you know who Kratos is or
Oh
what's
yeah, J
yeah,
Dubs.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with him 110% what he said. It wasn't like a necessary event, but unless you were there, it was a good experience if you were
Yeah.
there. Like that was the only thing.
That's the thing. I think it didn't need to be live streamed. It just should have been an event for fans who were there. And I'm sure it
Right.
was awesome because I've been to FanFest, I've been to E3, total awesome experiences. So I have no doubt that that was killer to be there. But as someone watching at home on a stream,
Mhm.
even knowing that Sony wasn't going to do anything because they said they weren't, it was like, man, are we really having story time about how Hideo Kojima and, Andrew House met? You
Yeah.
know,
I
are
really
we,
need to hear that. I'm like, what's going on here?
are
Come
we
on.
really dragging Corey Balrog out here who looked tired?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
it would have been better if they legit. So I mean, like, let's say they kept that same format with the couch, right? And everybody came out. It would have been better if they all did what that Detroit Become Human dev did, where he got up and did a gameplay scene. That'd have been better. Like I thought that would be, much more presentable. But they didn't go that route. They just went with, here we go. We're here. We're talking our history. It's like I don't really need to hear this right now.
yeah,
Really didn't.
I at least wanted to see something new from God of War, right? I mean, I don't need to be
Right.
sold on God of War. I'm sold on it already.
Yeah.
But like a new trailer in some manner, with like a date, maybe,
Mhm.
because if it's coming out in March, there's not a lot of time left to announce that release date, right?
Yeah.
I thought for sure we get that, and you
Didn't
know,
leak for March 22nd, so I'm guessing Sony's just like, everybody believes it's March 22nd, so let's just say it's March 22nd. But I'm like,
yeah,
no, that's sloppy. You should tell us the release date. At least give us a release date. Now it's like, waiting to E3 doesn't do much for us.
the Detroit Become Human segment was the best, though. I will say that game at least demoed very well. I'm really really interested in playing it, but
Yeah.
I couldn't care less about Dreams. I don't care about any of the VR stuff.
I saw the gameplay of it. It looks kind of like Little Big Planet. It's
Yeah,
kind of like Little Big Planet. It's all right. It's a game that I wouldn't say is for me, but it's a game I respect. Yeah, I say because it's just for being new and different. So I'll give them props for Dreams, but it's like, yeah, it's one of those games you don't really need, So
I mean, Sony looks like they're gonna have a killer 2018. Got God of War, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man by itself is a
I
seller.
mean, Spider-Man is my number one most anticipated game for next year.
Yeah.
Like, what else? There's Detroit Become Human, which I'm really interested in. Um, and they said Days Gone. I don't see. Here's the thing: like they have so many games for next year, including like Shadow of the Colossus. I don't believe all of them are coming out.
Yeah, some might get pushed. Like I'm thinking Days Gone might definitely get pushed. Have you seen the gameplay or not the gameplay, the frame rate test for Digital Foundry on it?
No, I didn't. What was that looking like?
Those crazy like intensive scenes where like the zombies start cluttering together and they all come at you like ridiculously, like
Yeah.
super fast. The game would drop to 25 frames, like 25, 27. And then when like he got into the actual house and he closed that metal thing down to like keep them botched up, it dropped to 23 and it started dropping to 23 when it really got even more intensified. So I'm thinking, they might need a little bit more time to patch it up.
Yeah, I'm also thinking there's too many months in the year,
Right.
to like, because you figure, okay, God of War comes out in March.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't releasing anything. So Red Dead's coming out in May, more than likely, right?
Yeah.
Sony's not releasing anything in May. Nobody's releasing anything in May because they're going to get out of Red Dead's way, right? So you have March, April is possibility for a game, but what game? June more like I think Spider-Man comes out in June. I think God of War comes out in March.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dreams, or I think that's another thing. Like you got Dreams, a day for Dreams, a day for Detroit, a day for The Days Gone. It's like there's not that many months where you'd want to put it. Plus, Sony and Microsoft tend not to put games at the end of the year, so you can kind of rule out October, November, and December. I can't imagine them launching Days Gone in October or November. Can you?
Nah.
Yeah, so it's like if it doesn't come out by September, it's not coming out. Is kind of my way of thinking. But like, I don't know. There's a lot of months, and there's only so many games you can put out. My thinking was Days Gone is March 2019 or February 2019, and Ghost of Tsushima is somewhere around there. And
my friend King Thrash, who was there, he said that the devs talked about like basically not being done at all. Yeah, I'm saying. So really, the odds of us getting it next year are very slim. We might get it for PS5, dude. They're saying that they're not even close to done. Yeah, they're not close. I mean,
it's possible. Like, but then like Last of Us 2 and Death Stranding. I know Last of Us. They said it's what 50% done ish. It's like. Yep. Is it possible that game comes out in 2019? I guess.
2019.
2020? I don't know. You know, it's like.
I mean, that's really a stretch, 2019. I mean, unless they can get it done and let's say if they did get it done early, we'll probably get it close to the end, 2019, close to the end of it. Because that's one of those games that, Naughty Dog really wants to put their time and effort into. They really want to make sure it runs. They really want to make sure it at least performs on the level that we hope for. Because the last thing we need is the game. Like, last thing we need is a repeat of the last one. It was a great game, but I know you remember this, and a lot of people who played it. Like sometimes you will walk in front of an enemy and then go behind cover and they won't see you. Like, you be dead close to them. That was really annoying. That took me out of experience a few times, but it didn't really affect my final score because the game really was that good. But, that's something they really need to fix. We already know, well, we didn't really get that much on Death Stranding. We know Death Stranding just a very cool looking game. It's interesting, but we didn't get much else out of it. We know a lot of people just saying throat baby.
Yeah, I mean, all you know is that game's not next year because they didn't even give a date. So 2019 and later, 2020. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, it all kind of comes down to when is the PS5? If the PS5 is 2019, it's like,
yeah.
I don't think so.
2019. I'm thinking it's most like it's 2020, 2020.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2020. I'm thinking Last of Us 2 and Death Stranding are 2020 games. Mm-hmm. And then Sony's going to remaster them for PS5 like they did with Last of Us and like Uncharted Collection, and then sell them again. But like with like updated for like PS5 stuff.
That is true. I don't even think they're going to incorporate anything. Well, I mean, I'm just still like confused on the Death Stranding thing. Like, I've been piecing together a few things. A lot of people in the podcast are coming up with theories. You know what I'm saying? A lot of theories. I think that's what they basically put that together for, just for you to put your own theory together. But I'm confused. I really am confused. And I wonder if Hideo Kojima is just really doing that on purpose, just to really make you super, super confused. Because it's one of those games that looks really good. Like, you just want to get immersed in it. You know what I'm saying? It looked that good. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. I thought it was like, a horror game at first. That's what it looked like, a horror game. But, there's action-adventure in this too. So, it's hard to say.
I mean, I can't wait to play it. I kind of want to see gameplay at this juncture. We've seen 3 trailers.
Yeah.
I want to see someone playing it, with the DS4. And I want to see what I'm going to be doing in the game. Which you don't really need to see in Last of Us. Because you've already played Last of Us 1, exactly, and the other, like Uncharted games, so you know what Naughty Dog does. Yep. So I don't even want to see anything of on Last of Us anyways, because I just kind of want to experience for myself. But at least with Last of Us, you know how the game's going to work.
Yeah.
With Ghost of Tsushima and with Death Stranding, it's like you don't really know. Yeah. It's kind of like one of those things where it's like, I just want to see what I'm going to be playing, But I'm still excited for all. Like, Sony just has they have a better lineup of exclusives. Like, that kind of is, at least that appeal to me.
Right.
And it is what I mean. Like, State of Decay does nothing for me, like at all. I mean, Sea of Thieves. I mean, I played Sea of Thieves. So I'm gonna play it when it comes out. We'll see how that goes. I am kind of out of the currently announced Xbox games for next year. It's probably my most anticipated. Crackdown will be behind it, but I mean, I don't know. I think Sony's just got the better lineup. I think God of War and Spider-Man and Detroit Become Human for next year are for me, a better lineup. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So does CFDs even have a story mode? CFDs? I
want to say that. I mean, I know you can play it single player. You can, get a single boat that you can use. Like, I'm not sure if it's going to have, like, I would imagine it would have some sort of at least small story you could go through, but who knows? Supposedly there's a big mixer stream tomorrow about Sea of Thieves where they're going to show off the progression system and a lot more things about the game. So that'll be interesting to check out. But I don't know, man. Sea of Thieves has the potential to
Yeah.
be a really good game and a game maybe Xbox needs, or it may be just another game that just doesn't do well. I don't know. Uh,
Yeah.
so that's why I'm kind of curious about the release date, because if God of War is coming out 2 days later and A Way Out, and then Far Cry 5, that's that's a lot of stiff competition. That's a lot of games vying for your money, and you would want to treat a new IP, give it the space it deserves, so people don't choose like what they know. Like Far Cry 5's comfort food. You know what you're getting with Far Cry. I mean,
Yep.
hell, you know what you're getting with God of War, really, because it's the seventh
Yeah.
one. Although it's kind of like a soft reboot for the franchise.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. It feels like more like a retelling. That's what it feels like
Yeah.
at first, because just especially when you come off, you play number 3, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Do you think that they're gonna kill off Kratos in the game and the kid takes over as the God of War?
That is a ongoing theory. That's really an ongoing theory. Probably so, just not now. They're probably gonna wait till the third one. I guarantee they'll try to get 3 games out of this style and get you emotionally attached to the kid, and eventually do what Telltale did with that dude Lee Everett and Clementine sort of thing. They probably want to do that too. So it could happen.
Or with Last of Us and Joel, and then switch to Ellie in the second game.
Well, sadly, that's kind of a given. They kind of are like, I don't know if you know how old Joel is. Joel was just in his 50s when he first ran into Ellie, so he's like damn near 70, close to 70 years old now.
Do you think Joel's dead in Last of Us 2?
It could happen. It could very well happen. I think so. I don't
Because
think
I've seen people say that in the trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
That he's already dead, and Ellie's kind of avenging him, and like she sees him as like a ghost that speaks to her.
Yeah, I mean, I can see exactly why they came with that conclusion, because you look at it, the way he just appears with the light and he starts walking in the house. It looks like he's just, he wasn't really there to begin with. But I don't know. It could, I'm saying, we could be proven wrong, because you look at the whole Batman Arkham Knight series. Remember how we thought Joker was legit in there? Because they actually spoiled it for me. I don't know if you had this glitch happen to you. When I pre-ordered Arkham Knight and I got like the pre-order theme, when you go to options and like you press options on your controller, you'll get the Joker's laugh.
Oh no! I mean,
spoiled that for me. So
I didn't get spoiled on that. I actually didn't get spoiled on a lot of PlayStation games. So like I played Last of Us and I didn't know what was going on the whole time, and I was blown away. It's the best game I played this year. Best game I mean, and then I played Uncharted 4. I don't know. Like I didn't get spoiled on anything, so everything's kind of. I'm trying to remain spoiler free for Star Wars, and it seems to get me harder and harder.
Right.
I don't want to get spoiled for Star Wars though, but yeah, I don't know. Like I'm really interested in where they go with Last of Us 2, because the first game was so good. You could make the argument that they didn't need to make a sequel.
That's true.
And it's like, okay, so we're doing a sequel where it's Ellie, and it's like, man, what kind of story are they going to tell? And it would be kind of cool if Joel dies or is already dead, and it's kind of I don't know. I'm just really interested in seeing where Naughty Dog takes that story.
Yeah, because like one thing's a new trend, especially with the new director of Naughty Dog, Neil Druckmann. One thing is very, very true. He loves to push female characters. I don't think anybody can just deny it at this point. He loves to push female characters. So, it's going to be interesting to see what she actually goes through, And I don't know if you noticed the woman that we saw at E3. You know what that woman is, right? The one that was like behind.
I would imagine that's Ellie's mom, right?
Yeah, that's why they had the knife to her stomach and she was pregnant.
Yeah. So we'll probably see gameplay for that game at E3, right?
Yep, most likely. That's most likely to happen. We got a small little thing at Paris, so yeah, it can definitely it's doable for E3. That's a whole year, so yeah, it's doable.
Do you think Sony can do 3 conferences?
Honestly, 3, yes. 4 or 5, no. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real. Like how many conferences they've had for the most part. They have E3, they have Paris Games Week, they have Tokyo Game Show, they have Gamescom. They got Comic-Con for the most part because they came out this year. I mean, Jesus, it's ridiculous. 3 definitely should be the number. You know what I'm saying? The Tokyo Game Show, you know what I'm saying? That's the one of their main ones. That's always stuck around, so that makes sense. PSX and E3. That's more the way it should.
I think having Paris Games will kind of hurt them, because I imagine if you like had Ghost of Tsushima unveiled at this PSX,
Oh yeah, it would have definitely
right?
gotten a lot of people out of their seat. The
Yeah.
thing is, they did it as like a legit strategic marketing
Oh yeah.
way. That's all it was, and I agree that they definitely should have saved, especially the Death Stranding reveal. I don't think they should have had the Death Stranding reveal at the Game Awards. They should have had that for PS, or you know what I'm saying, at this PSX. That's what they should have done, but they didn't do that. They did it for a marketing thing. Now, again, it was cool. It's cool for them to do it, but it's like, that hurt their plans in the future. I guarantee you they really did plan for big like reveals at
What about
PS.
what about Bloodborne 2? Is that Bloodborne 2 or is that Tenshu? Is that something
It's
else?
most likely Tenshu. As much as I want it to be Bloodborne, you know, with the saying shadows die twice, I really hope that's Bloodborne. But a lot of people are throwing that around, and I'm actually starting to believe them too that it might be Tenshu. You know what I'm saying? And
I saw like an in-depth analysis that it was Bloodborne 2.
yeah,
Really in depth.
yeah, definitely. If it's Bloodborne, I'm getting. You already know, like day one, I'm there. I'm definitely there day one.
I would imagine that's a PS5 launch title if it's Bloodborne 2.
Oh
right?
yeah, definitely. I can see that. I don't know. It depends on how long they worked on it, because you know that really depends. They could come out earlier than expected, but most likely PS5. You know, like a good chunk of these games are going to be PS5. You know what I'm saying? As much as I wanted to say Death Stranding once is going to come out for PS4, we're most likely going to get Death Stranding with the PS5, like very, very close. And it might do with Naughty Dog did with The Last of Us, where they launched on both consoles day one. So you might get that sort of thing where because they need a real big system seller for the PS5. So I'm thinking they would hold off on something big to sell it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm kind of curious to see where these games come out and then what Sony's thoughts and Microsoft's thoughts are about next gen. Like what's going to be inside the box, how much they're going to charge for it,
Yep.
when you're going to release it. I mean, is Sony going to, adopt backwards compatibility with PS4? I mean, there's some pretty big decisions to be made by people smarter than us, who make more money. They've probably been thinking about it for years already. I'm like, okay, PS5 is going to have this, and this, and this. We're going to come out in 2020.
Yep.
I don't know. I almost think the next Xbox might be the last proper Xbox.
Could very well be.
I mean, as like hardware goes.
I mean, I know you remember the Steam machines from last year.
Yeah.
Those weird, ridiculous price machines. We had like one for like 300, which I think was like the base, like low setting one trying to compete with PS4 or PS3 and 360. Then we had like a 500, and then we had like $1,000 one, something like that. It was ridiculous. So Microsoft definitely probably sees that as their future, as like, they really like, I think we both can agree that they want to be like Steam. They want all their games like to be like that, where they can sell them on different platforms, PlayStation, Nintendo, well, not really Nintendo, but PlayStation, PC, and Xbox platforms. Right. I think that's really what they really want in the future. And as we go forward with that, they're definitely going to want consoles that need to be upgradable and that can appeal to those who are in their ecosystem. So they definitely might actually go that route. But
well, I mean, hell, Phil's talked about a streaming service.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it 3 years from now, I totally can see like you got a Samsung Smart TV and there's an Xbox app that you can play your Xbox games streamed to you on your TV.
Yeah,
I can see that. I can see that like same thing happening on like your iOS or your Android phone or your tablet. Like Xbox being kind of like an app that you can take everywhere. I wouldn't even be surprised if like it showed up on a Nintendo system. Like you log into your Nintendo Switch and you can log into the Xbox app on your Nintendo Switch and stream Xbox games on your Switch.
That is true. I mean, did you play PlayStation Now? Did you try PlayStation?
No, I'm not down with that.
Okay, yeah. If you try PlayStation Now, man, it's easier to stream movies, because movies are just simple, data. But when it comes to games, you gotta take a lot into account, like input lag. That's very noticeable, even on PlayStation Now, on PS4. I tried this on every type of internet connection I could think of. Like, I kid you not. Tried it on mine. I have Charter Spectrum. So I have 60 down, 60 up, basically. I tried it on that. It's not really a good service at all. So if Microsoft really wants to go into a streaming service, then they will need to definitely do what Sony does wrong, like better, like improve that. And it's a lot to take into account. You need to take people's internet into account. So it's just, I don't know. That's one of those situations where it sounds good on paper, but in the long run, I don't think it would even do anything. I really don't see it.
I mean, we don't know their full plans, but I wouldn't be surprised if they tried.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, who knows? Like they said, I mean, Phil said they have the tech. They tried, they worked on it before. It wasn't feasible, but now it maybe is. Who knows if net neutrality screws up that, you know, plan. Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting, you know, how this all plays out. Because I have a feeling both Sony and Microsoft want streaming to happen.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I think they would love for it to happen. It's just that, like you said, the latency's not very good right now. And, you know, USA's internet isn't getting as, like, good as, like, other countries where we should be.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that'll hold it back, you know? But it'll be interesting to see them try. Because even EA, I don't know if you saw, EA said they're going to be launching streaming service, too.
Yep.
So it's like
nobody really cares about EA. I don't know if you played the UFC 3 beta.
Yeah, no, I heard about it though. But man, nobody really cares about EA. I mean, they're getting trashed by everybody.
Yeah,
Sony's like throwing them shade.
That guy from Bethesda, right?
Yeah, Bethesda's showing them shade. The Game Awards, they're that like everybody's throwing EA shade.
I mean, you think about it, they're like the only one making gaming as a late, just like a joke. They're just throwing so many retarded things out there that makes people angry. It's crazy.
You know, the thing with Star Wars is, like, I feel bad for the people who made Star Wars, like the care that went into making it like a Star Wars fan's dream, because it really is. Like, it's just the greed by EA just destroyed that game. And I feel bad for all the artists and people who worked on it, because you don't talk about how good it is or how great it looks or how much of a Star Wars
I'll give them credit. Whoever did the space combat, whoever did the scenery, it is a very nice looking game. It's a great game. I will give that to it, definitely. It's just, it's so much stuff that they could have done better and improved, but they didn't even go that route because they were so consumed with trying to nickel and dime you in the long run. The fact that a system has been built directly just to nickel and dime you says it all. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee if they would have got away with this, Randall, you would see a DLC that would be like, but it would have been like a crate thing too, though. But I guarantee you, General Grievous would have been in the damn game, and you had to like wait and get these crates. I guarantee you, they would have tried that.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, even the UFC stuff is pretty bad too. I don't know. EA just does what they want,
Yeah,
and I think they're emboldened by the fact that it worked on FIFA and Madden.
Yep.
The people love the FIFA Ultimate Teams. People love the Madden Ultimate Teams. I think they said they make $1 billion a year.
Yeah,
just that stuff. So I think they thought people would adopt to the Battlefront 2 stuff, and it was just like, well, you thought wrong, because no, they aren't.
Yeah, and people claim it's like at first when we first heard that Star Wars was going to even be made by EA, I think we all thought it was just going to be Battlefield with Star Wars theme, but this one, Battlefront 2, it doesn't even feel like a Battlefield. It feels more like a Call of Duty game in a sense, because you got the whole point system. It feels like going on kill streak. That's exactly what it felt like. So it's just some things EA can do right. Like I think EA definitely can, or I think really Activision too, can take a page out of EA's book in terms of making the game immersive and making the game, more interesting to play. There were so many people on screen on, Battlefield, and you look at that and you compare that to, that of Call of Duty, where you can have 6 and they're trying to put these ridiculous sized maps on top of that. It makes it worse. Like, I know you remember COD Ghost. Did you play COD Ghost?
Yeah, I played Ghost. Yeah,
I don't need to remind you how terrible that is with the 6 people and maps that are really big with no flow. So, that's one of those things a lot of people need to take in consideration. Really, Ground War, I think that's the name of that game mode, where it had like 10v10 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that really should be the standard mode for Call of Duty. and then they should have like a bigger ground war style, like that kind of competes with Battlefield, be their second priority. But they don't do that. They just find another way to nickel and dime you because they have an engine that they can cheaply get 60 frames per second. That's all it is. They don't care. They really don't.
You think that petition will do anything about removing the license from Star Wars from EA? I know a lot of people signed that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't usually petitions to me, at least in my opinion, they usually don't do much aside from getting your voice heard. They really don't result to that much. I think it's mostly a money thing that's going to result to that. Like I know you heard they lost $6 billion. They lost $3 billion at first, then it went up to $6 billion on Star Wars alone. So yeah, Star Wars is definitely hurting them, and that's one of those franchises that you need to put proper care into. And they just didn't bother putting proper care into Star Wars. They didn't put no effort into it. And I don't understand how can you sit there with a straight face and, take a franchise that is as loved as Star Wars and not even try. I don't understand that. That's just crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And then I almost kind of view the whole rumor thing about the next Battlefield game being Bad Company 3.
Yeah.
As like them just being like, well, what do we have here to shut people up? Oh, I know. People love Bad Company. Let's bring Bad Company back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Oh, man. I love Bad Company, like Bad Company 1 and Bad Company 2, but like that almost kind of feels like they're looking for something to get people to stop hating them. Like, please stop hating us,
Yeah.
Like, we're bringing back Bad Company 3. This is what you wanted, right? We brought back Mirror's Edge. This is what you wanted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, well, kind of, but I mean, what about Dead Space? Oh wait, you shut down Visceral.
Yeah, shut down Visceral was the worst decision I've ever seen them do yet. I don't understand how you shut down Visceral. I don't.
I mean, that's what EA does. It won't be long before they shut down BioWare too. At this point, because Anthem, man,
mm-hmm.
I have this fear that Anthem was like so riddled with microtransactions that like the game has to be reworked.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it. It really did look like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I'm not sure if I know it's a mech game. You know what I'm saying? We're destroying will look like other mechs in the world, right? Like that sort of thing. I guess we're just a task force and we got suits to go around and explore. But I don't know. There might be they probably were going to try and charge you for upgrades for your suit. For like customization for your suit. They definitely would have tried that.
But I mean, that game got a lot of hype, and then kind of it's fizzled. You don't hear people talking about it anymore.
Yeah, I think it was after they found out that it was running at checkerboard rendering on the X. It kind of just went down to minuscule things. So it's one of those games, though, that I at least thought was good. I actually thought it was exclusive when we first saw it for the X, at E3. I thought it was exclusive. I was like, you know what? Damn. I'm not really feeling all these games on Microsoft stage. But you know what? This one right here, I might actually dish out the 500. But it's like, it's not even exclusive. So again, what's the point of that? Like, it's just, Microsoft definitely needs a rework. They need to understand. They need to show their own. They can't rely on third-party deals. They just can't do it anymore. Can't do it.
Yeah, well, they don't have the clout like Sony. Like, I know Microsoft would love to, but it's kind of hard because Sony has the market share advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody kind of wants to market with Sony right away because they're the leader, So it's like Destiny 2, Red Dead, and all these games. They just automatically kind of want to go to PlayStation by default.
Mm-hmm.
And you already look at next year, like PlayStation has the marketing rights and deals for Far Cry 5. They have it for Red Dead. I'm assuming they got it for the next Call of Duty, whatever that is. I don't know if it's Black Ops 4 or whatever, but
yeah, it's already rumored Black Ops 4.
And I wonder what else is coming out in the holidays. Bad Company 3, would Microsoft try to get that, or would Sony try to get that?
I mean, there's already rumors going around that they're trying to purchase Obsidian, so I would not put it past them. I really wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing. Microsoft needs to build up their first party stable.
Yeah,
a little bit. And if they can't, then they need to do what I said earlier, which is like publish Playground's new open world RPG game. That would turn some heads.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree with you, Critopsy, with that comment. Resident Evil did start it, but I think Dead Space just kind of like amplified the whole horror thing because Resident Evil lost its way. You know what I'm saying? Especially after Resident Evil 4, they lost the horror way. They went more of that action style. Whereas Dead Space just took its really just took its own spin, had its own identity on the Switch. So I like that about, you know, Dead Space. But the fact that it's now canceled says it all. I don't understand that. Because that could have been a major a competitor for Capcom for horror game of the year. You know what I'm saying? If they came out with another one.
Yeah.
And you know, I think the rumor what was the rumors for Resident Evil 2 remake? What was that the rumor?
Well, it's not. I mean, there was a rumor that was going to be there, but I mean, they are making it. You know,
yeah, I'm saying that's
Resident Evil 2
the
remake.
Game. Yeah, so yeah, if we had like a Dead Space 4, right? Dead Space 4, and I think Dead Space 4. So if we had Dead Space 4 versus Resident Evil 2 remake, I think we definitely would have had a great year for horror. That would be definitely a great year. You know, Beyond Good and Evil is another candidate, you know what I'm saying? But mostly Beyond, I never looked at Beyond as really, really scary. I looked at it just more of the creepy factor, had that creepy vibe to it. So, you know, it was that sort of thing. And Resident Evil 7, definitely as well. It didn't really seem like it was going to be scary. It just had that creepy vibe to it with Resident Evil 7. So
I really loved Resident Evil 7. I thought that game was great.
Yeah, it looked good. It really did look good. A lot of people telling me in VR, it's one of the best, you know, games to play on VR on the, you know, PlayStation side. So that's good to see. Really good to see that the game definitely. It's good to see that you know, that Capcom can adapt at least. You know what I'm saying? They can at least adapt.
Well, you know, there's those rumors that the Devil May Cry 5 will be exclusive to PlayStation.
Yeah. It could happen. It could definitely happen.
I'm pretty sure it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like they tend to like team up with somebody. If it's not a big franchise, like they tend to team up with a console manufacturer. You know, Dead Rising with Microsoft, Street Fighter with Sony. I mean, Devil May Cry 5 kind of makes sense. I mean, it kind of didn't sell well on Xbox regardless, because it was always kind of seen as a PlayStation franchise. But I don't know, that, I mean, that leak is pretty detailed on, you know, Reset Era. I mean, that guy kind of put everything on the line.
Yeah.
And they did just announce the Devil May Cry HD collection for March for Xbox and PlayStation. Now, if Devil May Cry 5 is exclusive to PlayStation, then like putting out the collection on Xbox is kind of pointless to a certain degree, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, true, but you know, keep in mind, Capcom is kind of still hurting for cash, so they got to scoop up whatever.
I mean, Monster Hunter might be pretty big for them. Monster Hunter World.
I hope so. I really do hope so. At least I hope they at least buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's sad that I even have to hope that they buy it. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have this problem, especially with the 360. Every game was selling ridiculous on the 360, especially, you know, the first party with Gears and Halo alone. Gears and Halo alone was like averaging more sales than any PlayStation game, you know, for that gen. So, I mean, it was sad, man. Medieval. Oh, he said, "Are you a fan of Outlast?"
I love Outlast. Outlast is awesome.
Yeah, I never got into that one. I think that's the one with the little camera, right?
Yeah. You're like a reporter and you can't fight back. I love those games. Those games are great.
Yeah, I thought it was just an indie, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, it is an indie. It is done by Red Barrels, but
it does horror, right?
Yeah, I think it does horror pretty good, or at least like kind of that version of horror where these things are happening and you don't have a gun to fight back, so you're kind of like running around with your, you know, like a chicken with their head cut off because you don't know where to go, or what to do. You know, there's some good moments like that in those games.
You play Slender Man? Because I played that. That actually caught me off guard.
Yeah, I played Slender Man. Pretty interesting game.
That definitely caught me off guard. I was like, okay, this is.
I played that after I played Outlast, so I could, you know, I definitely saw like kind of the influence Slender Man had on Outlast, but pretty cool. Like I like that game. It's cool.
Did you ever you're a fan of the Medieval game coming to PlayStation?
I played Medieval on the PlayStation 1. I kind of recall having fond memories of it.
Okay.
So I mean, it's cool they're bringing it back. I wouldn't necessarily say like I'm, you know, like, yeah, this is amazing. It's just like, all right, cool. Like I was the same way with Crash Bandicoot. I was never a Crash Bandicoot fan, or at least I didn't play it. So like when that was announced, it was like, okay, whatever, you know. Yeah. I'm really interested in Shadow of the Colossus though, because was one of my favorite games ever. That was like my top 5 PS2 3 like era game, right? So the fact that that's like a complete remake, I'm really looking forward to replaying Shadow of the Colossus, because it's been like, what is it, 11 years, 13 years or something?
Yeah.
Not wait to play that game.
Yeah. I mean, I just Crash Bandicoot, you know, the fact that we even got that now after all this time, it's, you know, I'm happy that we finally got that. But it's crazy. Like, you know, I think Sony just, you know, now finally, you know, realize, you know, they can make crazy profit by bringing back such and such games, you know, old games. Pretty soon, we'll most likely get Ape Escape remastered.
Ape Escape, huh?
Oh yeah, that game was great. You didn't play Ape Escape?
No, I did. I was thinking like maybe a Spyro game.
Spyro's owned by Activision, so that's most likely on the table though, with the whole deal they got going on with Activision and the partnership and the relationship they just built with Activision. So most likely we're going to get Spyro. But what's telling about this relationship, wasn't Crash Bandicoot supposed to release on the Xbox this year?
I mean, there was rumors that it was. I mean,
yeah, but you would think we got some confirmation. No confirmation. It's like they just swept Xbox gamers under the rug. So that's kind of weird, you know. That's I
mean, I guess it's possible. Maybe it's a year timed exclusive, so you're looking at, you know, June of next year.
Okay.
I don't think it would sell well anyways, because Crash Bandicoot. I know Crash Bandicoot was on Xbox, but
yeah,
that was a
PlayStation game.
Yeah, I don't think it would sell well anyways. So, yeah, you know, there was like a lot of rumors. There was you know, the controller prompts and stuff, and it didn't say only on PlayStation on the box, so people were like, "Oh, this must not be exclusive."
Yeah,
and
Sony
never really called it an exclusive either, really. So who knows? I mean, maybe they went and they got full rights to it. Who knows? But I mean, it did sell really well. Like people bought
it in droves. It was it was up there with GTA in terms of just being the top games for the month. It was up there like for ridiculously well. So especially in the UK, they kept coming in at #1. So they were doing great with Crash. I'm happy though. I'm glad at least we got it. You know what I'm saying? Glad we got it. Do you think now that we got that coming, what was that game called? For the Xbox, Banjo-Kazooie. You think Microsoft could follow suit, get Banjo? Come back?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Oh wow, I thought you'd jump on like, yeah, Banjo.
No. I mean, I think Rare is. I know they have another game in development, but I'm pretty sure Rare is
just done,
busy with Sea of Thieves.
No, okay.
I don't think we'll see Banjo come back.
Yeah, I mean you think that would be on their main back burner right there? It's Banjo.
Well, they brought it back during the 360 era. I don't think it did very well. So, I mean, Rare is sitting on a lot of games.
Yeah.
They have a lot of, like, you know, storied French, and hell, Microsoft in general. But I don't think they have the studio breadth. Like, they don't have the studios to be able to make those, so they would have to farm them out. But I'm not. I don't think so. I don't think Microsoft will revisit Banjo. I don't think so, man. I think that's no. I would have to. If I had to bet, I would say no. That's not happening.
Oh well, you guys heard it from Xbox guy. He said no. Wow. Me personally, I've been given. I just been having my fingers crossed for just something, you know, something good for Xbox and this point in time. Just hasn't been getting anything. So
I mean, this was the worst year for Xbox. I mean, you can't deny it. I mean, what do we have? Halo Wars 2, which was a good game. I enjoyed it. Voodoo Vince. Well, I mean, Voodoo Vince. Phantom Dust. What else did we get? Cuphead, which was really good. One of the best games of the year.
Yeah, it's most like I think that's gonna come to PlayStation. I had that feeling it's gonna come to PlayStation.
You think so?
Yeah, it's gonna come because like I don't even think it sold 1 million copies on Xbox alone. Only sold like what, 500,000? So
well, I mean, nobody knows how much it sold on Xbox. I mean, I know when they announced that they sold 1 million, it was at 500 or a little bit over 500,000 on PC. So
Yeah,
I mean,
like
I don't know.
600
I don't know how much it sold. Microsoft's silence on that leads to people to believe, the worst. But from what I understand, that game's never going to any other console. Like Microsoft, invested heavily in that game, in exchange for full console rights. So no Switch and no play. Cuphead 2, however, will probably be on everything.
Oh yeah, I can believe that. Because most likely the team will be bigger. I think
and they'll be able to get the funding they need instead of from So yeah, I think Cuphead 2 will be on everything, but this Cuphead will be Xbox console only. I know it's on PC, but that's where it'll be. And we had Forza 7, which is the seventh Forza. I mean, you either know you like Forza or you don't by this time, right? And then Super Lucky's Tale. I mean, so yeah, I mean, not exactly setting the world on fire with the exclusive lineup this year, but I can't imagine it getting any worse. And if it does get worse, then holy crap!
No,
right?
Yep, that is true. That's true. You play GTA online?
I mean, I did when it launched on the 360. Not my thing, but I love the single player. I love the stories of GTA.
Yeah, so you don't really care for this new DLC, flying cars?
No, I mean, I don't know. If it was there when I originally played Grand Theft Auto, I probably would have played it a lot. Because we were really looking forward to doing heists and stuff like that, but it took so long to come to the platform. None of us just cared. It was just
an additional year or two.
Yeah, it was a year.
Yeah, that's great.
But I mean, people love Grand Theft Auto Online. I'm kind of worried how much that'll affect the development of 6. You know what I mean?
From what I'm seeing, the development of 6 is it's they were doing mocap. If I read an article a while back, said they were doing mocap for it, but I don't think it'll be done until PS5. That's one of those games I think they're just gonna wait for the PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox. I don't think they'll even try or put any effort into trying to get that out right now. They could get there by the end of this generation though, drop by the end, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Just one of those games that they put a lot of effort into, and they're making ridiculous amount of profit off those shark carts. Yeah, they're making ridiculous amount of profit. Like kind of like that game. Are you familiar with Rocket League?
Yeah, I think Rocket League's really cool game.
Yeah,
another game I was wrong about.
Oh yeah, well the crate system, right? The ridiculous amount of crates that you can trade and with friends and have. That right there alone has postponed Rocket League 2.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I mean, if there even is going to be a Rocket League 2, they can just continue updating Rocket League and just have Rocket League as like something like Minecraft, just a game that just completely evolves and changes, and with no need for a second one. Unless, I mean, because even thinking about it, like, what would Rocket League 2 do differently than the first one?
Aside from probably change aesthetically, like with the graphics and the world, maybe. It's pretty much going to be the exact same mechanics. I mean, that's what makes the game. It's a game that's about timing and being strategic. So it's definitely one of those games that's going to be a little tough to improve. You know what I'm saying? They got a lot of game modes as it is. So that's definitely a lot of things. Landon's got a question for you. He said, do you think Microsoft will be the next Sega?
Like as somebody who ditches hardware and just does third party?
Pretty much, yeah.
I don't think so. They have another Xbox in development. I think they're good for some time. I think they have plans for the next 10 years. So I'm gonna go with that and say no, they're not the next Sega.
Okay. Conquer. That's the game I was about to bring up too. I'm glad he brought that. Thank you for reminding me, Inferno. Are you familiar with Conquer for Xbox?
Oh yeah, I love Conquer.
Think they would ever remaster that, bring that to Xbox?
Nope.
No? Wow, no fate. No fate.
Nope. I don't think so. I don't think Microsoft is interested in doing that type of stuff. So that's another Rare game. Like I said, Rare is heavily involved with Sea of Thieves. I just don't see them bringing back Conquer or any of their, maybe Viva Pinata, but even then I doubt it. So I don't think so, man. I don't think so.
Viva Pinata. I never got into that. Couldn't do it. God, I'm just looking back. There's a lot of games on the 360, especially a lot of silly ones with the Kinect, like they were ripping off stuff like that Angry Birds ripoff with the castle. I remember that. It was a game on 360. It was this. I remember last time I saw it was like E3 that year. I had this, girl like showing it off. She basically had like a slingshot. She was taking on castles. Kind of like Angry Birds.
Yeah, I know what game you're talking about. I just can't think of the title right now.
Yeah, it's a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Screw the Kinect, man.
Yeah. I don't need to bring up Usher, do I? No.
Dance Central and Kinectimals.
I don't know what they were thinking with that. They had a full dance.
They were thinking they sold so many of those things. They were probably counting the money and thought this was the future of gaming and they were gonna be on top. They thought everybody wanted that and they were wrong.
Mm-hmm. That is true. If we did get to this situation, right? I'm not saying we are, but I had the big three. Like who would you say would have the biggest chance of actually leaving the industry if we ever got to this point?
Who, as like just maybe getting bought or leaving on their own accord, just stopping?
Really leaving on their own and just going full software.
Man, if you had to guess, I mean, out of those, I would say Nintendo, just because they have the games to sell third party. But then again, after the success of the Switch, like I was thinking that the Switch would bomb just like the Wii U, and they would have nowhere else to go but third party. But obviously, the Switch is so successful, that's probably not going to happen. I think Microsoft has a long-term vision for Xbox. Now that like Phil was, moved to the executive table, so they clearly are thinking long-term with the brand. And Sony, I mean, PlayStation is basically Sony at this point, you know? So it's kind of hard to say which one would go first, but
you think Microsoft would take that into consideration, like put their games like a service for all platforms?
I think there's a good possibility that there could be an Xbox,
but it won't be.
But then also at the same time, an app that you could stream games to a competing platform.
I can see that. That's actually interesting. Yeah, I can see
but
that.
I mean, it's tough, man, because my initial thought is like, well, it's not going to be Sony because then there's no more. It's not going to be PlayStation because then there's no more Sony.
Yeah, a lot of people say Nintendo because of the
Nintendo. Then there's no more Nintendo, but like Microsoft, you could argue they could lose Xbox tomorrow and nobody would bat an eye, and their stock price might go up. But the CEO has clarified time and time again how important Xbox is to them. But if you were to make me force me to bet and be like, all right, you need to choose, I would probably say Nintendo.
Okay. You said Nintendo. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Nintendo games sell regardless. That's the sad part. That's a crazy part. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing they do right that the competition apparently does wrong. Their games sell. You know, they know how to sell it. So I don't know. That is a toughie one. Right? That's a tough question to see which one would go. So it's definitely do it. See the end of the game. Okay, so that's a good question. He said, do you guys think we could ever see the end of gaming altogether? Like the whole industry goes stale and just dies off?
I don't think so. I think there's always someone there willing, because there's always going to be a demand for video games in some shape or form, whether it's console gaming, whether it's PC gaming, whether it's mobile gaming. So someone is always going to be trying to be in that space to make money. So I would say there's not maybe you could argue in 20 years gaming will look completely different than what it is right now, but somebody will always be in the gaming space.
Right. Okay. How much do you think the new Xbox and the PS5 will cost?
I would imagine Sony would price the PS5 at $400 because they've seen great success with the PS4 at that price. And I would imagine Microsoft would not make the mistake of 500. So I would imagine $400 for both.
Would you be fine with it being 500 if they actually were like, let's say they legit went with a better CPU like a Ryzen based and pretty much did what Microsoft tried to do with the X, like same specs, 12 gigs, slightly better GPU?
Well, the thing is like, you're primarily PlayStation guy, right? You play everything. So as someone who's like, whoever, like, if you're a primary Xbox or PlayStation guy, right? And if you play everything on there, like I own 1,000 games on the Xbox, right? I'll pay whatever it really, like, I'm going to pay $500 for, say, Xbox 2, and I'm going to get my money's worth because I'm going to play every single game on that system, regardless of whatever specs it has. And I would assume the same will go for PlayStation guys, that have all these games and they play everything on PlayStation. They're probably fine with paying the price because they're going to get their money, their worth and value of the money that they did. It's just, it comes a little bit a choice when you have to choose, do I get the second one? Like, okay, if I have a Xbox 2 and it's $500 and I get everything here, and let's say they're the same exact specs, PS5, Xbox 2, same exact specs. It's like, okay, I spend $500 here. It's like, do I spend $500 on this other console that basically does the same exact thing? And that's when the price becomes like a barrier, because at that point it's like, well, I know I'm not going to use it as much as my Xbox,
right?
So it has to be cheaper. Like, I'm only going to play, a couple games a year, like the Sony exclusives on that platform. So it's like, it can't be $500 because I'm going to waste my money. Whereas, if you're playing 100 games a year on your platform, it's not a waste of money.
I don't know. It's like Sony, I believe, can pull off a $500 price tag. It's just, it really depends really on both sides. The games, what you got to offer day one. It really depends on what you got. But yeah, I will agree. 400 is the sweet spot. That's the spot that a lot of people really want for a price tag. So I don't know. I just don't want that to affect the actual like hardware. You know what I'm saying? I want the hardware to at least be good for the future.
Well, I mean, it'll be better than what it is now. I mean, you got to figure, like, they have a lot that goes into it. It's a machine that they have to sell and price out accordingly. All these parts, so they can sell it at a consumer, facing price point of like $400 or $500.
Right.
They want to make money on it. So it's like it has to. A console is a compromise. You know what I mean?
Pretty much. Yeah, it's close. It's limited off the bat.
Yeah, so you gotta like have a lesser CPU, a lesser GPU, all this other stuff, so you can sell it at a mass market price point. Like, not everybody wants to buy a $2,000 PC or a $1,500 PC to play PC gaming. Some people are just like, give me a PlayStation, give me an Xbox, $400, I'm good, and I'm happy with it.
You can get a PC. You can get a custom, already made, pre-built PC for $400.
Yeah.
So I mean, those, that pretty much is on the table now. Like, PC has gotten pretty damn good with the prices. So,
and the next consoles are going to be. Think about it, like how good the next consoles will be.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Consoles will be really good
now. That's if they can get over the hiccups and actually provide. That's one thing about consoles. It's so iffy. It's so hit and miss. It's so hit and miss. Like, you can. I remember there were talks of us, going to 4K, but yet we were struggling to even hit 1080p. At the start of this gen, Sony was hitting it a lot at the start of this gen, but they were struggling to maintain 1080p, like going forward the months. Microsoft, when they came out the Xbox One, it was like 792, 860p. So, it really is going to be like hard to
well, look at the jump Xbox went from the original Xbox to the X in just 4 years. Yeah. Now imagine the next Xbox is 4 years from now. The jump would be pretty substantial too, just like the jump from Pro. If the Pro,
I get what you're coming from, especially with the GPU and RAM in consideration.
Yeah,
but I mean, the main thing we really need to upgrade, we really need to be like high end ish or something very good, like it's like a Ryzen 1200, something like that, like something really good. So we really need that to be the main thing to We need that.
Well, I would. I mean, would either company use that? I mean, would that affect backwards compatibility by any chance? Because I don't really
no, because no, that's just the
as long as it's like x86 architecture.
Yeah, it's still if it's got x86 architecture, which will most likely happen because the devs love it for simplicity of games. All your PS4 games and your Xbox One games will be backwards compatible. The moment they announce x86, all your games will be backwards compatible.
Because I have a feeling PlayStation is going to do back compat because I think digital's like important to them.
Yeah,
and I think they'll be like, yeah, by the way, PS5 is back compat with your entire digital PS4 library or whatever.
I just hope they don't pull a PS3 on us, man. When they go, your catalog might not transfer over. Remember that at the start this gen?
Yeah, well, it was like that one PlayStation that like the 60 gig PlayStation 3 that had back compat in it, and then they took it out or whatever. And it's going to be really interesting to see which path they go because I can see Sony saying, nah, no PS4 games work, but Microsoft has committed to the promise of like, hey, if you want to play Xbox games, whether they're Xbox One games, Xbox 360 games, or OG Xbox games, you can rest assured, that we'll have that,
Right.
But we'll see how that plays out for the next systems. I'm kind of interested in seeing what they do. I'm interested in the price point, the release dates. Are the games going to be cross-gen? Oh man, I hated when a lot of these games were cross-gen, which I'm sure they will be. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of just want new games made for that system. I don't know. Like, that's just me. I know like Call of Duty will be PS5 and PS4, right? And then it'll be a couple years down the road where it'll only be PS5 only. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting, and I guess we'll find out in a couple years. We'll find out soon enough, because I'm assuming if Sony was going to do it, they'd probably have an event in February of that year to announce the new PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
So if February 2019 comes around and they still haven't announced it, it's probably good for 2020 then.
Yeah, I think you're going to see the banner for the PS5 at the end of 2019. Like, they probably do like they did with February, what they showed on February 20 with the PS4, where they showed the specs and the controller, and then you actually get the console reveal at E3. I think that's what they want to do again, because that was a really, really perfect time and a perfect way to do the PS4. It's a perfect, mix of hype and just anticipation. So they definitely want to do that again. I'm trying to think if when we do get these consoles, will they actually listen to the feedback that they've gotten? Because one thing that's just been that's been a very constant and demanded thing is higher frame rate. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know. I mean, I think some developers will take to that, but a lot of developers want to just max out the graphical settings and the explosions and the particle effects and don't care if it's 30. So they just want their game to look pretty. And there's some data out there that shows that people want a good looking game, and 60 frames doesn't necessarily like sell a game. So, and these developers read that stuff too. So I don't know if 60 frames will be the target for next. I think it'll be like it is right now. It's like you can choose, like, what do you want to use the power for? You want to use the power for 4K and like ultra settings and the best of everything with a frame rate of 30, or do you want to choose a frame rate of 60 and maybe like run at 1800p with some stuff? I don't know. We'll find out eventually down the road, but
this is a question from one of the people in the chat. Yeah, getting a lot of questions. Hold your questions, guys. Hold your questions, but I'll answer this one. Do you think we're going to get a touchpad for the DualShock, the new DualShock for PS5?
I'll say
no.
I don't see why you wouldn't, right?
I mean, yeah, the way the touchpad works doesn't really work the way I thought they were going to incorporate it. For example, when we first heard about it, I was thinking, they might use that to navigate the menus, or like a way for you to navigate the menu. You can't really do it like that. It's no use for it. It's really a button, and that's how it's mostly used for the most part on games on PS4. It's like a button, like an extra like select button or something like that. You know what I mean? It's mostly like for your maps and stuff. So I mean, I don't know. I don't think they would. No, they could, but I don't know if they would. To be honest, I really don't think so. What's up, Kid Smooth?
I think they'll keep with the touchpad.
You think they'll keep it?
I think so.
Okay.
Maybe they won't. Who knows? I mean, the DS4 is a better controller than the DS3. I will say that.
Okay. Do you you're a big I know you're a big Xbox dude. You already know it. I started off on the OG Xbox as well, like the OG one. Do you think they will fix the problems with the Xbox One controller in the future, like with the new one? Do you really think they'll fix it and not pull another what they did, this gen?
What problems in particular?
Well, the bumpers for one, they made the bumpers super fleshed against the controller, especially the top shoulder buttons. They messed that up. The fact that we're still using batteries in 2017, so another big complaint for the Xbox controller. And now in terms of like style and button, like, placement, it's actually not a bad, it's probably one of the better controllers out there on the market. 360 definitely is probably one of the best of all time. So my thing is like, will they fix everything else, like batteries and the shoulder buttons?
I don't know. I mean, like, I never really got the whole battery thing. I'm fine. I have antelope batteries that are rechargeable. Like, I don't. Do people complain about that?
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. How much do batteries cost now? Like, especially if you get a big pack of batteries, like $5 per pack.
I don't know. I have chargeable batteries, so when they need to be charged, I take them out, slap in the new ones, and charge the old ones. And last days, last days. So I guess if you were buying AA's, Duracell AA's every single week, yeah, that could get expensive. But I don't know. That's not how I do it. I didn't really know that was kind of a thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, the charge and play kit thing should already just be standard. If that, I believe that should be standard with the Xbox, like charge and play. I don't think you should have to buy that separate. I don't think so.
I mean, I think it does come with certain controllers. I know it came with the Elite that I have. So, I really like the Xbox One controller. I will say the bumpers were a problem at the very first iteration of the controller. It was like the thing I wanted them to fix. It's better now. I think they've been through like 4 or 5 iterations of the controller.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think the controller is great. I understand why some people think the 360 controller is the best. I think Bond says it's the best, but I don't know. I tried going back to the 360 controller. It just feels too heavy in comparison. I kind of just I like the current like version of the Xbox One controller. I like the Elite.
Right.
But I mean, I'm sure they'll probably. I don't know. Would they even change it for the next system? Like I don't know. Maybe they would. Maybe they wouldn't.
Yeah.
I think they have a good thing going with the whole. Like they seem to be able to make custom controllers, and you can make your own custom controller. I would imagine they'd want that to keep on going. So if people want to be able to personalize their stuff, it's easy instead of changing the design.
Right.
I don't really see it changing much, to be honest with you.
Okay. So you just think they're going to just keep the traditional format, pretty much, for the most part? Traditional?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think...
I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, I think the accessories will work. I don't think... Like, whenever the next Xbox is, I think you'll be able to use, like, your...
Xbox One and
Xbox One controller on it.
Well, yeah, I can see that definitely.
I don't think they're gonna make you upgrade, have to get a new controller to do it. So
you don't think they'll fix anything? It's just gonna be the exact same, just carried over, like kind of like what a lot of people think Sony would do with the PS5. With the
I don't think they'll put a like the battery pack in the DS4, right? Where I think Microsoft will always do the battery thing.
Okay.
But I mean, that's not, I mean, I never thought that was an issue. Like, like for me, I just use antelope recharging batteries. So,
yeah, a lot of people still do it. They still do it. But I'm just, I can't I can't. I just can't do it, man. I can't do it. Like Charge and Play, it was a better option for the Xbox controller. The problem with Charge and Play though is the fact that they don't incorporate that in just the controllers to begin with. That's just it's always sold separate. I never understood that from Microsoft. I just never understood that. Why are we paying extra just to get the Charge and Play? Now, Kid Smooth commented. He's saying that what does he say? He said batteries die. That's what he said. Hold on, let me go up. His comment kind of got lost. Yeah, he said they'll eventually die, for good. But the thing is, I haven't run into a single problem with PlayStation controllers. So I don't think Microsoft will have that problem at all. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. But that's one of those situations where I guess you got to wait and see. To be honest. Yeah. Shout out to Kid Smooth, though. Need to get you on here Monday if you're interested, man. Let me know.
Halo, Gears, and Forza. How about that beat he dropped, huh? and then he did a little drunk podcast. Oh man, that stuff that had me. I was dying when I was watching that.
Oh yeah, I do it with the guys on Friday. We call ourselves the True Podcast. we just talk gaming, a lot of topics. If you want on, I mean, I'd love to have you on this week if you want to make it Friday. We usually are live at 8:00 Eastern. Fridays are a little bit bad for me.
Are bad. I don't get home till like late, and then it's kind of like gaming time at that point.
Oh, I understand. I understand. We do it all the time, though. We just every Friday for that. Mondays I try to do things a little different, get a lot of other things happening, but that's just how YouTube is.
Yeah,
a lot of people are quitting YouTube as we speak. So
who's quitting?
A lot of people have quit. A lot of people. Not a lot in the gaming category. Not a lot, but some have taken a big hiatus from it. They stop uploading.
Oh yeah. Well, the demonetization stuff is brutal.
It is. It really is. Now, it didn't really bother me as much, but I can understand people who, let's say, I don't know if you ever heard of this guy called Onish Pranks.
No, I have not.
Okay, yeah. Onish Prank is a prank channel. He does a bunch of crazy phone calls. And some of his videos, a good chunk of them, he averages over 1 million views, right? Each video. And some of these videos have 25 million views. And those got demonetized. So you already feel his pain right there. So
yeah.
Crazy.
It sucks. I wish YouTube would fix it,
Yeah.
But they
ain't gonna fix because Google. Pretty much.
Yeah, Google
ruined everything. That is sad. I don't get it. Oh, man. Keith Red says, how much do you spend on batteries a year? I'm not sure if he's talking to you or Kid Smooth. I don't know. Kid Smooth kind of disappeared.
I mean, at most, I replace them every year, and it's $10.
$10? So you don't go through a monthly?
No, because they're rechargeable. I just buy a new pack of 4.
Hey, you say rechargeable. But no, I'm talking about let's say you didn't buy rechargeables. Let's say you just buy the typical door cell.
You go through
$5 a pack, right?
Yeah.
So let's
you definitely would
do a pack each month. You're basically paying the equivalent of another controller. I'm saying a year. So that's pretty much where a lot of people are getting this from. So I'm going with too. So definitely. Rechargeable batteries, man. I didn't even know those things were still a thing, though. I thought they stopped.
Now the envelopes are really good.
Are they?
Yeah. It's they're a really good brand. A charge lasts me 3 or 4 days.
No,
and then you just slap them in, just grab them from the charger and put them in. So I would imagine, sure, if you're buying Duracells every week, yeah, then probably you're this is way too expensive. And at that point, I would agree with you. Well, I wish they just included the charger and stuff, but
yeah.
I mean, I guess, yeah, I don't know. I never really thought of it like that because I've just been using, rechargeable batteries for years now. So,
okay. Do you think Crackdown 3 will get canceled?
No, it won't get canceled.
Y'all think so?
No, it'll come out. Now, the question of whether or not it'll be good, that's a different story. But it's coming out. They won't cancel it. Yeah, they can't afford to cancel it. So,
oh, wow.
Can you imagine if they canceled it? Yeah,
It's going to be an outrage. I will say that much. It's going to be an outrage.
But I think it'll come out next year or this year. Well, 2018. But yeah, I think it's in no danger of being canceled.
Yeah, my fingers are crossed that it does happen, that it does like come out. But like it's just I don't know. I had that feeling that it's most likely, definitely not going to be coming out. I had that feeling it's not going to be. Definitely. And the reason why I had that feeling is just, I don't know. Every time we hear something about like Crackdown, it's always either something bad, like whether it's a delay or they're talking about it like, like it's not even like it's not even needed. It just feels like that.
Yeah. I mean, they revealed it way too early,
Yeah, definitely.
They didn't really show anything of it for a long time. And then they finally showed it at E3 and it was a 2-minute trailer with Terry Crews. Terrible. And you didn't really get a good feel for what the game was, and then the Comic-Con debacle.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't a good look for a game that you've been hyping up for a long time, talking about cloud physics destruction in this multiplayer thing, and then never show off the cloud physics destruction that you've been talking about. So it's like go back and just spruce up the visuals of the game, get the cloud destruction working, just give it the time you need. Because like I'll even like go look at Recore. Like Recore, a game that came out last year, right, was hampered by loading times and a whole bunch of stuff. And finally they released the edition this year that fixes a lot of the problems the game has. Now you could argue that Microsoft probably should have just released the game this year with the proper version of the game without the loading, without all that stuff. Maybe if you did, Recore gets higher score on Metacritic. Critics seem to recommend it more. Maybe it sells more and you have a potential franchise. Instead, you rush the game out the door, and I do think we'll get a Recore too, but like sometimes a game just needs more time and you need to give it to them,
I agree. I definitely agree. Definitely agree. We definitely need more on these games going in the future. But, honestly, it really does come down to like only time will tell, basically, for a lot of this. Oh, man, it's all speculation. That's the sad part. We can't really tell the future. It's all speculation. Man, crazy. That's crazy. I guess the last question I got, because we're pretty much near the end here. Where's that at? So we covered that. Okay, so you already said your most anticipated game was Spider-Man, right? As you said.
Yeah, I love Insomniac games. I really like Spider-Man, and that game looks like a blast to play. I can't wait to play it.
Okay. So you think Microsoft needs something like that, like a Marvel deal?
I mean, it would be cool to have something like that if they got like an Iron Man game or something.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening though, because I'm not sure who they could get to develop the game.
Nobody in their nobody in their studio, most likely.
Yeah.
Nobody.
And there's not that many really good independent developers like left that don't have a project.
Mm-hmm.
Plus Crystal Dynamics, I believe, is working on a Marvel game. I think so's Eidos Montreal. There was talk that they were working on one too after they ship Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It would be cool, like maybe even a DC character. But yeah, I don't know. I think Sony just kind of they're gonna have. They own like the film rights to Spider-Man, right? Maybe there was just one of those things where everything came together. Insomniac needed some work after Sunset Overdrive finished, and they weren't doing Sunset Overdrive 2, and Sony had this idea for Spider-Man or something, and it all just kind of came together and worked out. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be cool to see an Iron Man game or a Hulk game, but
you believe the Rocksteady rumors for Superman?
I believe Superman's in the game. I don't know if like he's the primary antagonist. Maybe it's a Justice League game.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. Like Superman is pretty OP. You
Yeah,
know?
I said that to my podcast members. He's hard to balance because like they'll have to immortalize him with like bullets, and it's
Yeah,
hard.
I mean, what do you do? Is the whole world going to be covered in like a red sun generator, and like your goal is to like disable a part of the city that has like the red sun so you can get your powers? I don't know. Unless it's like an early Superman story where he's just coming into his powers. I'm not sure how a Superman game could work. Unless, I mean, if he's part of a team, like if it was a
Yeah,
Justice League, Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, I think that could work at that point. But as solo Superman game, I mean, look, I would love it because I love Superman. I love Rocksteady. I'm just not sure that that's what they're working on. You know what I mean?
yeah. Did you like the movie?
Justice League?
Yeah,
Have not seen it yet.
I hated it. Just put it out there. It wasn't really good.
I wasn't a fan of Batman versus Superman, so I'm
You're
waiting.
definitely not gonna be a fan of this. Then I'm telling you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna wait till it comes out on, Blu-ray, and I'll watch it then.
Batman kills, ladies and gentlemen, which is the biggest lie of all time. Does not kill. Well, we're pretty much at the end of the show. Let's get some questions in. Let's get some Q&As. Got some questions here. Alrighty, so let me go up. What do you say? Is PUBG a killer app? That's from King Thresh.
Is PUBG a killer app?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to sell extremely well on Xbox. I mean, I looked at the leaderboard earlier today with another account that just started. It's like 500,000 just on the North American servers. So it seems to be selling extremely well. Will it sell consoles is the question, right? That would be a killer app.
Yeah, killer app mostly implies a console seller.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, but I think the game's going to sell like millions upon millions on the system.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it does. Who knows? Maybe people get it. Maybe people talk about it, then they convince their friends to buy it. I don't know. But my initial kind of thought is no, it won't.
Okay. What happened to the VR that Microsoft was doing? Well, Microsoft had, I could have sworn they said the Xbox One X was going to be compatible with like Vive and what was it, Oculus Rift, and they said that it was going to be compatible. And they had their own little thing they were working on. They were working on augmented reality, which was called Hololens. So,
yeah, HoloLens isn't coming out anytime soon. I mean, they do have their mixed reality headsets that are available now. I think they're even like $200. I think they all work with the Steam stuff. I remember when the X was announced, they said that it would have premium VR experience on it, and then they backtracked because I think they saw that the audience didn't. There wasn't a lot of engagement with VR like they were expecting. Like I think everybody thought VR was the next big thing, and if you look at Oculus and you look at Vive, it clearly isn't. And even the leader, PlayStation, they've only sold 2 million. So I think everybody thought it would do better than it did. So Microsoft's like, yeah, we won't really like do anything for Xbox currently.
Okay. We already answered this, but he said who will win MPD? It's from Christopher Hart. We kind of said Sony, right? That's what we both agreed on.
Yeah,
Sony.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. HoloLens had a bright future, man. It could have been used from doctors. You know what I'm saying? I saw a lot of cool stuff with HoloLens.
No, I mean you can use it. You can even buy a dev kit right now. I just don't think it'll come out for like a gaming like usage. You know what I mean?
Like Minecraft on your table.
Yeah. I don't think so. Like I don't think that's a reality. I think that was all kind of smoke and mirrors by Microsoft.
What about what's that game? What was that thing called with the projector?
Illumaroom, yeah, another smoke and mirrors type thing.
You don't think that would have had a future?
No, not at all. Nope.
Wouldn't it have to be a Kinect? If I'm not mistaken, wasn't it supposed to be like a Kinect that was going to be having that, like a big beefy Kinect?
I mean, I don't know.
It looked like a Kinect. It looked like an attachment for the Kinect or a brand new Kinect that had that projector built in. That's exactly what it looked like. At least to me, it's a while since I've seen it. I gotta look at the video again.
I mean, the video looked cool, but I always kind of thought it had no future. Like, no, who's gonna buy that?
Yeah, it looked like I don't know. It depends on your setup, I guess, because of how big your setup was. Because it looked like a lot of the furniture was going to get in the way, regardless of the setup for it. Like they didn't really have no like, oh yeah, you guys need to move your furniture to get the big, brighter picture, clear passage or visual. So, it was, I don't know, it's hard really to say. It was hard to say on that one. Do you think they would put the VR box inside the PS5 or still external box? Hmm?
Like, they would just so PS5 would be bundled with PSVR?
Probably. I think that's what he meant. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Because they try to keep that at $400, like the system, the controller, plus VR. I would imagine that would be too expensive for them to include with the price. I would imagine it would be still peripheral. I mean, because then you could get flashbacks to this gen. Because Xbox, instead of making the Kinect 2.0 a peripheral, they made it mandatory, right? So it increased the price of the Xbox One to $500, and they couldn't do a lot with the specs of the system because they had to eat the cost of that. So you had the system more expensive than the PlayStation 4 and less powerful, all because they needed to put the Kinect with it. Now, if Sony did the same thing, they would have to make a less powerful PS5 because they'd be knowing they'd have to, throw in this $200 PSVR, which might increase the price of the system to $500. And then what if Xbox did the exact thing Sony did last gen or this gen, undercut them, made a more powerful machine, and sell for $100 less?
Okay.
I mean, so that's why I think PSVR will always be a peripheral. They'll sell it in a bundle, but the main one will be $400 without PSVR.
I got you. How would you guys react if Spider-Man PS4 got delayed to 2019? The only reason I say that is because Insomniac Games haven't given us more details on gameplay and mostly story. Well, we did get details on that. They said that the web swinging in the game is skill based. They said that we have they did give us a few details regarding the story, which you have a point there. In terms of like releasing, I don't think it'll be 2019. It's just this is one of those games they want to launch with the movie. This is a big release for PlayStation. So I don't think they would delay it, my dude. I don't think they'll get delayed. And that was from the Superior Artists. Do you think they'll delay it?
I mean, they've been saying 2018 for a while, and I think it'll come out this year. I think Days Gone is the one that slips.
Yeah, Days Gone, I can see most definitely getting delayed, especially if you see the frame rate test. That's a game they probably want to put a little bit more work into getting to run smooth, So
yeah, plus there's potential for crossover, which is why it kind of has to be this year.
Right.
And why I'm picking June, because Marvel's Infinity War comes out in May.
Right.
So there'll be a big Spider-Man push, and then you can have the game come out in June and kind of have that crossover, which you necessarily wouldn't have the following year. So,
I mean, what if Sony got a crazy deal with Marvel again, and we got a crazy Iron Man, game exclusive to PlayStation, or a Ant-Man game? Can you imagine the limited editions for the PlayStation? I mean, that'd be ridiculous.
I don't think an Ant-Man game would be possible. I mean, Spider-Man is the most popular Marvel character. I mean, there's a reason.
Yeah, sure.
Iron Man would be.
Ant-Man can be done. I mean, you've seen you played Injustice. You seen Black Adam?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that'd be cool.
Yeah, they can definitely pull it off. I mean, like they most likely will be quick time events in it. Like, you go small, and you'd be like, jumping through these crazy things. Like, I'm saying, dodging bullets. Most likely gonna be quick time events to immerse you. So I already think that. Do you guys think Days Gone might already be overhyped and doesn't even closely live up to it? Or just not actually or actually be good?
Out of all the games that Sony showed, besides Dreams, the Days Gone's the one on the bottom of my list. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is, but all the other games to me seem better. Days Gone seems too much of a Me Too game, if that makes any sense. It's like, we want to be Last of Us, but we're not. We want to be like God of War and like zombies and all this stuff. It just seems like an amalgamation of a whole bunch of stuff that's popular, but
right.
I don't know. Like, to me, like, I just don't have. I don't know. Maybe I need to play it for myself, or maybe I see more gameplay. But I just don't have any excitement for Days Gone.
Okay. No, I can definitely see it though. I can see what you're where you're coming from. You're going off of just what you're seeing, right? That you're just in.
Yeah.
So I see where you're coming from with that. What will be the last PlayStation? So they changed the name. Basically, saying change the name of PlayStation to something else. I know you remember when PS4 was first being worked on. It's called PlayStation Orbis.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess he's referring to that. So, do you think it'll be PS5 or PS6?
I think
PS6.
I think they'll always keep the PlayStation name and the branding. I think it's too important to PlayStation to change it ever.
No, they'll keep PlayStation in the name, but they'll get rid of the number.
No, I don't even think they'll get rid of the number.
You know, these are?
I think it'll just be PS5, PS6, PS7, PS8, PS9. I think that's the number is almost as important
As
the name. Yeah. Because if you say PlayStation Novice or what you said, some people might look at that and be like, what is this, a spinoff? Is this like what exactly is that? And you kind of even see some of that with the PlayStation 4 Pro, you know. Some people don't know what it is or what it does, but clearly when you go into a like a GameStop and it's like PS4 Pro or PS4 versus PS5, you know which one's better immediately just by the numbering of the system. That's why if I would imagine they would always just keep the number, going forward. They won't change that.
So for traditional purposes, pretty much.
Yeah, traditional purposes. I mean, look, Microsoft screwed themselves over by going Xbox and Xbox 360. Yeah. So it's and then Xbox
Durango.
One. Yeah, who? I mean, they screwed over their whole naming conventions.
Yeah.
I mean, Nintendo. I mean, they do what Nintendo does. I mean, they kind of have a different name for each one of their systems. So they're doing Nintendo. They march to the beat of their own drummer.
Right.
They do what they want, but I think Sony will just constantly be the number.
I mean, Xbox 720s would have been better. Durango. I mean, there's just a lot of good names.
Xbox Infinity.
That was another going, yeah. I mean, I don't understand how you go from those good names to Xbox One. It's like, oh Lord, I don't get it.
Yeah, well, they were like you need the one thing you need for all your devices, Xbox One. Like, yeah, I'm sure
to my cable box.
Yeah, I'm sure the executives were like, "Yeah, it's a good name," and everybody else was like, "Are you serious? Get out of here."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure what's the name was on to something, even though a lot of people don't like him. Michael Pachter, that's his name, Michael Pachter. I think he was on to something. I don't know if you remember this Pack Attack episode back when these consoles were first coming out, but you remember when he sat down, he said that Microsoft will most likely want to sign a deal with cable companies, so that way they can sell you the Xbox for $100. And like you're basically paying for Xbox Live, games, and then you're paying for your cable bill through Microsoft. That's what they wanted to do.
Yeah, well, that didn't turn out very like it was supposed to.
Yeah.
And this generation didn't turn out anything like Microsoft thought it would.
DRM, man, it was the comments that really hurt them. It wasn't really just the decisions; it was the comments, the way they approached it and tried to talk about it. The fact that they said hashtag deal with it. And the fact that they said, oh, we have a product for those who can't establish internet, you know what I'm saying? Like that really put them in the bad perspective.
Yep, sure did.
Next question. Do you think after Sea of Thieves, Xbox won't have games coming out until next gen?
No, I mean, they have State of Decay and Crackdown coming out this year, plus I'd imagine Forza Horizon 4, Halo 6 and Gears 5 at some point. They have games planned. I mean, I would imagine the next Xbox is 2021, so they have a whole bunch of games planned. It's just they play their cards close to the vest. Mm-hmm. So unlike Sony, who is very open with the roadmap of what games are coming and kind of when. So.
We actually talked about that, Milky Way. He said, are you excited for net neutrality ending tomorrow? Just love, that guy, AG Pat, whatever his name is. We actually talked about that. Honestly, I think we lost it. We lost it completely.
And we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully it win, but not with the current state of gamers. It's not like they used to be. When we're united, we're all divided and doing stupid stuff. Is that all the questions? Yeah, pretty much all the questions. So, Let's see here. Nah, let's see here. Do you care about the name change for PlayStation?
I mean, I would love to make my name on PlayStation what I have it on Xbox as far as consistency's sake. Because I wasn't able to get it because PlayStation doesn't allow spaces in between the names.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of do underscores, and people had already had. It was weird. People had taken my name on PlayStation. I had to find
Yeah,
like
it
a
happens.
combination of that wasn't used yet. So I would probably would change it if I could just change it to Randall Thor 19. So it's just like my Xbox name and my YouTube channel and stuff. You know.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing that's still happening. People always do this. They just, I don't know, joke with these things. I know Ali, like you'd be surprised. I mean, you know what Ali is, right? That YouTuber. You'd be surprised at how many Ali accounts are on PlayStation. You'd be surprised. So, do you guys think PUBG on Xbox sold more than PS4 exclusives?
What, like Uncharted?
I don't think it's. I don't even think it's. I don't know. I don't think it even touched Uncharted. I think it sold 500,000. Right? That's right now. So it's.
I mean, the leaderboard for North America says 500,000. I don't know what it says for EU. I mean, I don't know. It seems like it's going to sell well. A couple million, maybe 3, 4. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
I mean, they're already giving refunds for the game too, right? They're giving refunds for.
Well, you can get a refund really for any game. Microsoft is very good about getting refunds for games if you need it. I did see somebody ask me what my favorite Xbox game is. I'm a Halo diehard, man.
I know. I can tell.
Halo got me into Xbox, period. I was a Sony fanboy back in the day. PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. I was a Sony fanboy.
Yeah. And, Microsoft had me with Jet Set Radio Future.
And I played Halo 2. I played online, and it was like one of the best experiences I've ever had. I played Halo 2 every single day for a year. I love Halo. It's my favorite franchise. So, you know, like that. If that my favorite Xbox game, well, there you go. Like it's Halo. My favorite Halo. It's probably Halo 3, even though I liked Halo 2's multiplayer. I hope Microsoft can bring Halo to the level it deserves. Like if they give it another year of development, so it's 4 years to Halo 6 next year. Hopefully they make it the rounded experience it deserves. A great single player / co-op campaign that has a great story, right? That continues the journey of Master Chief. And then it has that awesome multiplayer that Halo is known for. Because I really enjoyed Halo 5's multiplayer a lot. It just needs the whole package. They needs to give as much time to the single player as they did to the multiplayer. And hopefully the extra year of development, because it doesn't seem like it's coming out next year, which would be 4 years for Halo. Hopefully it does that. You know, I got my fingers crossed, man. I love Halo. You know, sure, 343 is not Bungie, but then again, I don't think Bungie is really Bungie at this point anymore, are they?
Nah, they are going through like an identity crisis. Destiny is basically like a Halo clone. It's basically the same damn game.
Yeah, so Halo's my jam.
Okay, I can't agree, disagree with you there. That's your preference. So, Vic Kid, he basically answered that question just now. So, when do you think Xbox 2 will release?
As like the next Xbox?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends on when the next PlayStation comes out. If PlayStation 5 comes out in 2019, then I think the next Xbox is 2020. If the next PlayStation's 2020, then
21.
Yeah, something like that. 2020, 2021, something like that.
I mean, they really are at Sony's mercy at this point when it comes to releasing, because Sony pretty much has the say on when next gen starts. If you really think about it, I'm saying they're in such a good shape where I'm saying they can just drop this content. Everybody, but okay, cool, we're ready. So Microsoft just released a $500 iteration, so this is really tough on them. I don't even think they would release it, to be honest with you, a year after, but they got to. You know what I mean? For competition's sake, they have to. So it's hard. It really is hard to see when we're going to get it. 2020, most likely, though. These consoles are going to drop 2020.
Yeah.
Do you guys think Phil Spencer have a clue about the gaming industry? I would say Phil was good in terms of setting up stuff. He's good, in terms of being a face for a brand. The problem with Phil is that Phil doesn't understand the purpose of a console in terms of, giving value to it. He doesn't understand that point. I'll say that about Phil. What do you?
I think Phil understands, like more than a lot of people think. Phil, I mean, what's the right way to say this? I think he's been burned on some of the games and some of the decisions he made early on in his as the head of Xbox, like some of the decisions and some of the games that were funded, which makes him kind of hesitant to go back to the well. I also think that Terry Myerson, his boss, really held the leash tight on things he could budget for. So I think Xbox was really at the mercy of because Terry Myerson, who was Phil's boss, he doesn't like Xbox. So he didn't give it the proper funding it needed to be able to get things going. And Phil was in such a terrible state. Like, I mean, Don Matrick left the ship on fire and sinking.
Yeah.
He just bailed. And I think Phil did a great job, reestablishing it.
Basically.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he mentioned in interviews, there like 3 things he wanted to do. Like, first was to fix the hardware, which they started with, the X back in like 2013 or whatever, 2014, knocked that down. He wanted to work on backwards compatibility and Xbox Live and all that stuff. And then he wanted to work on the games. Now, you could argue that he maybe should have, worked on the games first.
Yeah.
But that was the order they thought of. So the order they did. So it's like you said, you asked me earlier, what does Xbox need? And I told you the only thing it really needs right now is new IPs and exclusive games.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing missing.
Well, keyword, true exclusives. True exclusives, really.
Well, the true exclusive thing's never going to happen. So you can, like, the Xbox games will always be on PC going forward. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I think the true exclusive moniker, I know like how PlayStation X true exclusives, that's not going to happen anymore with Xbox.
Which is sad. I mean, this Play Anywhere, I mean, it's cool on paper. Play Anywhere is cool on paper, but it's really hurting them in the long run. Like, I think a lot of people would agree. It's hurting them.
I don't see, but I've talked to them about that, and they don't see it. They don't see it in their sales graphs or sales data or any of their other like telemetrics.
Well, I mean, yeah, sure, because they're making money still. Because let's say 50% of people on Xbox don't buy the game. That doesn't mean that 100% ain't going to buy it on PC. That's what they see it as. They see it as the PC, making up for the people who don't buy it on the console. That's what they see it as. So that's why this whole thing.
So like that's kind of what it is. Like they kind of, it's like you want to play on Xbox good, you want to play it on PC good. I've talked enough with Phil to know that like he's not a liar at all. So if he says all these things are going, they're going. Like they're in motion and in progress.
So just a matter of when, basically.
It's just a matter of, yeah, exactly. Like when they want to show it off and when they're ready to reveal it. I know that's not what people want to hear. I know that sounds like, hey, we'll just wait. I'm not saying to wait. If you're not happy with the Xbox or whatever, well then,
go to whatever platform.
Wherever you want. But it'll come. The problem is I don't think it's going to be what people want. I know I mentioned that earlier. Like if you're expecting awesome single player experiences like Sony can deliver, that's not what Microsoft's going to do. At least, the vibe I get, but there will be games. There'll be like, it's just tough. It's tough, man. It's just, after this horrible year, it's kind of, I know it's kind of like tough to say like, well, just
wait.
or have faith or whatever. But I talked to a lot of guys at Xbox. I talked to Phil. Like things are in the works. Like it's just, they wanted to do certain things and they were hamstrung by, their boss. Like Phil's promotion meant a lot because before Xbox was under the umbrella of Windows, and its entire goal was to make Windows better and to make Windows more popular. Right? It moved Xbox out of the Windows umbrella, and now it can be like what's better for Xbox.
Right.
And Phil can talk to and get approval from Satya first, and Amy Hood, the CEO or the CFO, instead of having to go through Terry Myerson, who hates Xbox and wants nothing to do with it, and try to downplay it any chance he got. So I think they'll come. You just
don't know when, basically.
I just don't know when or what the shape will be. And I know some people are probably saying damage control, but
no, I mean, you talked to them, so I mean, you got your own input on it. So I mean, it's really a matter of perspective of when they're going to drop. Like, we don't know the full release or of anything. I mean,
yeah. So I mean, I would imagine they would show this stuff at E3 2018 just because they're gonna have to. Like, if they don't, then well, they're up Schitt's Creek without a paddle at that point. You know what I mean?
Pretty much. This is a question directed to you. Do you think Halo will ever return to its glory days? Now, what if Amy Hennig was signed on to do the next Halo, like story-wise?
Do I think Halo will ever return to the glory days? No, I don't. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. I think those days have passed. The days of like Halo being the biggest franchise out there, I think those days are long gone. Mainly because Xbox, isn't as popular as it was on the 360, and a lot of the multi-platforms have kind of risen up. Call of Duty is dominant, Overwatch is dominant, Rainbow Six Siege is dominant.
Okay.
You have a lot of games vying for. It's a big market, but it's also a small market. That I don't think Halo can ever return to the point like where Halo 3, where it was the biggest event there was. Not just in like movies and TV, but like Halo 3's launch was the biggest event in entertainment that year. It was the best-selling game that year, period. An exclusive game was the best-selling. Like, that doesn't happen anymore. Like, exclusive games don't sell that much anymore. It's just kind of the way the industry moved. So I don't think Halo can return to that former glory. I think it's just not possible.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, another question. When do you think, when will be the last Halo, Gears, or Forza? When will be the last one? To answer that, short and sweet, to save you the trouble. They're not ending anytime soon, man. They're not ending.
No.
Yeah, that's their bread and butter at this point. They're not ending.
Yeah. Gears will go on as long as Coalition's there and want to make Gears. Forza will go on as long as Turn 10's there and want to make Forzas, and Halo will go on as long as 343 is there to make Halos.
Well, they are getting an open world game, right, from the developers of Forza.
Well, Playground Games, they built out a second team. They're an independent studio.
So, do you think it's the Horizon Zero Dawn supposed clone that Phil wants?
I mean, I heard it was their version of Witcher 3. Like, that was what it was supposed to be. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who's publishing it. I mean, I don't know if it's exclusive to Xbox, if it's a multi-platform.
Well, I mean, no game is exclusive to Xbox at this point. Like, it's with the Play Anywhere initiative. So,
I mean, true, but that doesn't necessarily mean like. I mean, yeah, you're right. Yeah, if you want to play it on PC and play it on PC, but I don't know. I have a feeling that I think they snatched that game up as some sort of exclusive, to console and PC, Windows 10 or whatever. But yeah, I mean, Forza Horizon, I would imagine that would go on as long as they want, because it does make them a lot of money and it makes Playground a lot of money.
Right.
So I would imagine those, as long as those games come out and don't sell 10 copies, as long as there's a market for them, they'll keep on coming.
Okay. All right. Which one would you rather prefer, Phil Spencer or Don Matrick? Now, I guess he means Don Matrick in the good 360 days. I hope that's what he means in the good old 360 days.
You
Don
mean the
Matrick.
360 days where he basically shoved out first party and only did Connect and basically ruined Xbox?
Yeah, I'm thinking because
No,
I don't think he's referring to the terrible launch. If he's referring to the terrible launch, then obviously it's Phil.
Don Matrick was the front runner. He
Yeah.
was put in a position built by Peter Moore and Jay Allard and everybody at Xbox beforehand. He inherited a situation where they were winning. And what he do? He used the clout of Xbox being number one to get better marketing deals, better exclusive DLC deals, right?
Mm-hmm.
They decided to do Connect. And I know this for a fact. They stopped production on core franchises and new IPs because they were so enamored with Connect. Games were canceled, right? So
Uh-huh.
they did that. And they had this idea in the head that they were going to do this for the Xbox One, the next system, all this stuff, and it blew up in their face. So if you're asking me which one's better, Phil Spencer or Don Matrick, the answer all day is Phil Spencer. Don Matrick ruined Xbox to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
He inherited a situation he basically destroyed. I don't have any respect for Don Matrick. I don't like the guy. I think he's part of the reasons where Xbox is in the situation it is right now. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people look back and they want to say, bring back Donnie D, bring back Donnie D. And I
Yeah.
always have to laugh because Xbox 360 was great because of the things people did before Don Matrick stepped foot in that door. All Don Matrick did was, hey, we're number one. We have some money to throw around. We're going to throw around it. And then he freaking sabotaged the company with the Connect. And look where we're in now. We're in a situation where the Xbox is a laughing joke among most people because it's losing 2-1 to the PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
And Phil Spencer had to, bail out the ship that was on fire that Don Matrick left at the very first sign of any trouble. Like, Don Matrick's not a leader or a builder, or someone who can do that thing. He left as soon as the opportunity was given. He was gone. Right? Screw that guy. Fuck that guy.
Okay. There's a lot of hostility towards that one. Sorry, I can't. I don't know. You already know Dom was full of shit, though. He's just full of shit the way he talks. Will the new Xbox be the last Xbox before it becomes a service? He's talking about the next Xbox.
I think there'll be one more Xbox minimum, like another hardware, and then who knows where that goes from there.
Okay. This is from Jeremy. This is directed towards you. What do you want out of the next Gears, if that's your type of game?
I want them to take a little bit more risks in the single player. I'm not a Gears multiplayer dude at all. So whatever they do with multiplayer is whatever they do. I never really cared for the multiplayer, but I don't know, it just seems so safe. It seemed like every other Gears game I played. I kind of want them to just, I don't know, change it up a little bit.
Right.
And make it a little bit longer too. That one, the Gears 4 was really short.
They will go back to the roots being different.
Yeah, and get rid of those freaking robots that were terrible. Never bring those back.
I still remember the trailer for it. The worn out faces, worn out places.
Yeah,
I do remember that trailer. It was a great thing. It was a good year to be an Xbox dude. I think nobody would disagree when we first got Gears and everything. So that's pretty much all the questions. I ain't got no more questions. I want to say thank you to you for coming through, man. I appreciate you. I know we had to reschedule it to the day, but it's all good.
Yeah, it's thanks for having me on. I'm sorry I couldn't come on Monday. PUBG stuff, and but it was fun, man. Getting to talk to you, getting to read some of the man. There's some people that don't like me in the comments. That's for sure.
What they said that? Yeah, it happens. You can't please everybody.
Yeah, you just learn to ignore people, but
Yeah, you think this is bad? You should see the comment section in I think it was Next Gen's comment section when we were when one of my podcast members went on there. It was it was terrible. So
yeah,
nice job.
At the end of the day, man, I just I just want video games to be here for a long time. I want games to sell good. Right. I want everybody to do well. Nintendo, Sony, and Xbox, just because I like playing all the new stuff. right?
Right.
I like playing new games, and if and that's all I want. I want them to do well. I know this gonna like you're gonna be like, ah, whatever, but I really want Sea of Thieves to do well. Not because like I'm an Xbox dude.
It just needs
and
to
it's
at this point.
like it would because I can imagine a situation where it's like Sea of Thieves doesn't do well and then they shut down Rare.
Mm-hmm.
That would not be a good day, So yeah, I just look. I want everything to do well, and that's kind of like my whole thing, man.
Yeah.
I'm not one to like downplay a system to uphold another. Like, yeah, I'm an Xbox fan, but like I'm not gonna trash PlayStation,
Right.
like other people, to like bring Xbox up higher. So that's not what I do.
Yeah, most of my people in my comments, they like to troll. They play around. They're not really, spreading hate. Hopefully, you see,
Yeah,
go around. They do this all the time. Good show with our podcast members, so they do what they do just to make it a little bit more lively in the chat. But once again, Matt, I appreciate you coming through, man. It was great to talk to you finally, man. I had a blast talking to you, and
yeah.
Maybe another time. Maybe another month.
Yeah, we could definitely do another time. I know you do other podcasts that have a whole bunch of people that are, opinions are flying around. Maybe I'll join one of these days.
Yeah, usually host those. On Mondays, Fridays. Just us, the True Podcast, and we do whatever we need. But I'm one of those people that just I like to give back, what I'm saying, when I get something. So I am. If you like me on yours, I would love to come through as well. If you ever do yours.
Sometimes we do. When I do impromptu podcasts, I've had like Craig Harris, the
I was on his earlier today.
The Pope of Xbox, right?
Yeah, he's gonna be called the Messiah if he reaches 500.
I call him the altar boy of Xbox. That's a little joke between me and him. Sometimes I'll invite people in. Like the Xbox 2 is just me and Jez. But when I do those impromptu things, like I love because you can only talk. At least I find for myself, like I can only talk so long. But if it's just me, like 40 minutes. But then it's like it's nice to have somebody else out there to have a conversation with. So yeah, like one of these days where there's some big news or something, I'm on like live streaming. You can definitely hop in there and we can talk about some stuff or whatever's going on.
Yeah, anytime, man. You hit me up on Twitter. I'll the same that nature. And also, if you want, I'll add you on PSN if you want me to. It's awesome.
Yeah, I just like logged in after not being on in a month, and it was like, all right, because my headphones broke for my PlayStation, or headphones I use for PlayStation, and I can't game without headphones. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like I got a new set coming because I want to play Uncharted Lost Legacy before the year's over because I want to at least include that in potential Game of the Year discussions if it's really good. So yeah, you're Ryan the Professional on PlayStation, right?
PlayStation, it's Ryan 553298. That's the.
All right. Yes, I will add you next time I log on to PSN.
You got it. Other than that, I hope everybody enjoyed the stream, man. Thumb the stream up for Randall, man. Shout out again to her coming through, man. We had fun chilling, talking with you guys. We'll see you guys Friday with everybody else in the True Podcast to discuss a few things. NPD is tomorrow, so expect me to do a video. And obviously, the net neutrality also is tomorrow. So hopefully we got some good news really on both sides. You know what I mean? Like, really it's kind of neutral on the whole NPD thing at this point. But we really do need good news on the net neutrality. We definitely need good news on that. So other than that, see you guys later. And have a good one. Deuces.